from Central Catholic High School in Modesto, California. It's the Division IV semifinal here on the Sac-Joaquin Section Network and PlayOnSports.com as the Center Cougars get set to face the Central Catholic Raiders with a chance to play for a D4 title next week here in the Sac-Joaquin Section. Jeff Kurtz alongside Jason Patterson. We're about ready for the coin toss. Getting you ready with a pregame here on PlayOnSports.com. Jason, an interesting matchup between these two teams. One that is for 15 section titles for Central Catholic over their storied school history. Meanwhile, the Center Cougars looking to make a little school history. They have never made it to a section championship game, and here they are in the semifinal, just 48 minutes away from playing for a title.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting evening here. As we were talking to Coach DeGaul Jabali for Center High School, he was telling us that this is going to be their hardest fought game of the year. They're going to have to try to match the athleticism and pace of the Central Catholic Raiders. So as we're walking around here, we can see that there is a lot of big boys for this Central Catholic Raider team. They are a huge team who looks like they're going to be a powerhouse here tonight. I'm definitely interested to see the two tandems of running backs on both sides of the ball and how they do tonight.
There is a lot of good running that we're going to be seeing here this evening as both Central Catholic and Center sport running backs who can move down the field quickly and get in the end zone frequently. First for Central Catholic, Ray Lomas and Ray Vega are the 1-2 punch for Central Catholic that have been outstanding this particular season. Meanwhile, for Center, DeJuan Belair, who's racked up over 2,000 yards rushing this year for the Center Cougars, and backed up by Tyrell Anderson, who's run for almost 1,000 as the quarterback for Center. This is two very athletic groups, but one thing head coach Jabali was telling us before the game for Center is they also have to match the way that Central Catholic plays physically. This is a big unit for the Raiders.
Yeah, definitely a huge unit. As it looks like they have figured out the coin toss here at the middle of the field, and it will be the Center High Cougars receiving the ball first to start this game.
Well, folks, we're going to take a quick break for the national anthem here at Central Catholic High School and then bring you the kickoff here on PlayOnSports.com. We're at the Division IV semifinal here in Modesto, California. Kickoff just a few moments away. Please stay with us. We're your destination for high school sports. PlayOnSports.com and the CIF Sac-Joaquin Section Network.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this.
Back here on PlayOnSports.com, we are set. We are ready for this Division IV semifinal in the Sac-Joaquin section. Also want to let you know we're covering the other Division IV semifinal as well, as Escalon is at Los Banos. We'll try to give you updates from that particular game. A lot of you fans who are interested in this one will want to know if your team is going to be playing and who they're going to be playing next week. So we'll keep you abreast of that action. These two teams come in sporting identical 10-2 records. Common opponents this year, they both played Placer, and they both lost to Placer. Central Catholic lost 48-30. Meanwhile, Center lost in a hard-fought game 15-14. We are just about set. We are ready to go. Center is going to receive the ball. They are going left to right in the white jerseys with the light blue helmets, the light blue lettering, the white pants. Central Catholic looking very similar to Notre Dame with the navy blue jerseys, the white lettering, the gold helmets, the gold pants. They are going right to left. Set to kick off for Central Catholic is Kenny Smart, the junior. And he'll be kicking it deep. 2 players await at the goal line. "48 minutes of football separate these two squads from a Division IV title berth. We are underway from Central Catholic High School, and this ball returnable from the 5-yard line for Center. Across the 15-20, and then cut down around the 21-yard line. On the return, that is where Center will start out with the football. 1st down and 10. On the return was Dewan Belair, who we will talk about quite a bit in this matchup here this evening, Jason.
Yeah, most definitely. He's definitely the name to keep an eye out if you're at home watching. He is wearing the number 2 for the Center Cougars, and he is their star running back coming in with over 2,000 rushing yards on the season and 27 touchdowns to go along with those 2,000 rushing yards. So obviously a dynamite weapon there in the backfield for the Cougars.
Tyrell Anderson is the quarterback for Center, and he's going to take off and run as the pocket collapses on 1st down. Anderson very quick and dodges the rush and gets out of bounds just short of the 25-yard line for a pickup of 3. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7. One of the things tonight, both teams have speed, but the physical nature of Central Catholic and the fact that they are bigger is something that was of concern to Center. Can they dodge it with their quickness?
It's definitely something that they're going to have to try. This team for Central Catholic is absolutely huge, as we see number 84 on that last play, Johnny Munt, who got in the backfield there, and he's one of those kids that are absolutely dynamite for the Central Catholic Raiders defense and offense.
Anderson's going to run the option, and it is going to be pitched to Belair, who will drop the football, then recover it for a 2-yard gain out to the 26-yard line. So that could have been a disaster for Center, especially when you're on the road and you are a bit of an underdog against Central Catholic. That could have been a nightmare, but instead you pick up 2 yards, and it's a 3rd down and 5 coming up.
Yeah, just as I'm mentioning his name, Johnny Munt gets in the backfield there, interrupts that option play, and almost gets a turnover for his team early in this game. So he's definitely a number to watch out for, number 84 in the Notre Dame colored jerseys, as they do look a lot like Notre Dame from up here.
Man in motion, and then we've got our first penalty of the game, and this is likely to be a false start against Center, and it is. So our first penalty of the game for 5 yards, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 10 with 11:05 remaining opening quarter.
Yeah, one thing we were watching earlier as we were walking around was the Central Catholic team practicing that exact drill, not trying to get the false start. They had their coach yelling a bunch of different hikes and huts and all that stuff, and they were teaching him not to move until the ball is moved, and it's already showing that it works good here early in this game.
3rd down and actually 11 as Belair sets up to the left of Anderson in the backfield. 4 receivers, a spread formation, play action to Belair. Here comes the pass, throwing down the middle and open, but overshooting Robert Gervais is Anderson. Gervais got open on a seam route up the middle as falling to the turf, Tyler Johnson on the cut, but the pass incomplete, and it will bring up a 4th down, and the punting unit is on for the Cougars.
Yeah, that was just a good defensive play by Central Catholic. They did end up giving a guy wide open down the field, but they had enough linebackers and defensive linemen in the backfield to hurry up that quarterback and force him to make the pass a little bit earlier than he wanted to and let him just a little bit too far.
Nathan Loya back to receive this punt. He's going to grab it at midfield, break 1 tackle, cut back, head far side. He's got a little bit of running room to the 40 and then upended at the 35-yard line. Nice job on the return. The punt went 30 yards, the return of 15, net 15 on the punt, and Central Catholic is in great field position as they start out first down and 10, and we get our first look at Garrett Artis and his duo of running backs in the backfield that he can hand off to Lomas and Vega. And Lomas is going to start out in the backfield. Near side receiver Jacob Hodges, one to the far side, tight end left. Offset eye left-hand side for Artis. On first down against this 4-4 defense, handoff left side, Lomas running through a hole, gets a good gain on first down, inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line, a pickup of 6.
Yeah, that's definitely a name you're going to hear throughout tonight is Lomas, as he already gets a good gain there on first down, picks up 6 yards. That's exactly what you want out of your running back on first down. You want to pick up an average of 3 to 4 yards on a running play on first down. He picks up 6. Perfect, exactly what you want.
Tackle on the play by the safety, Robert Gervais. Splitting out to the far side goes Hodges. One near side, that's Tyler Johnson. I formation this time. Lomas in the backfield, strong side right. Their running right is Central Catholic. And a short gain, a couple of yards down to the 27-yard line for Lomas. And a big third down coming up for the center defense. They'd like to force Central Catholic into a fourth down situation here early if they can.
Yeah, definitely. After going 3 and out to start this game, to go ahead and make your opponents go 3 and out as well is exactly what you want. You don't want to go 3 and out and let this home team drive down and get their home field crowd into the game. You want to try to keep that at bay throughout this entire game.
Gain of 1 for Lomas. On that last play, say our officials, 3rd and 3. Strong side right, I formation. The snap. Lomas the handoff, plows right into the middle. Should have enough for the first down. He's inside the 25. Down to the 24-yard line. He needed to get to the 25. That is a gain of 4 and a first down for the Raiders.
Yeah, that was a good run by Lomas. He was met in the backfield, and he ended up running into one of his blockers, but turned that into just enough yards to get the first down and move those chains. Good run by Lomas.
Officials start the clock back up again. We have 9:05 remaining opening quarter. And Central Catholic starting with a short field has moved the ball 11 yards. They have a first down and a split backfield behind Artis. Artis strong side right, 2 receivers near side. This is a handoff. Lomas second man through running left. He will be tripped up at the 17-yard line after a gain of 7 yards.
Yeah, he's meeting a couple of small holes anytime he's getting the ball, but he's finding his way. He's showing fairly solid ball carrier vision and making his way through the little bit of holes that his offensive line is giving him. He's doing pretty solid here on this first drive for the Raiders.
Hodges splits out far side, near side Johnson. Offset eye right for Lomas, strong side right. That's Munt at tight end. Artis under center. Takes a snap, toss sweep right side. Lomas is going to be tackled right at the first down marker. It's going to be very close. They might spot him knee down at the 15, in which case he'll be a yard shy of a first down, bringing up a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, definitely exactly what we expected here out of the Raiders on their first drive. A whole lot of running, not a whole lot of passing. As both teams, they bring in an awesome running game. And I'm excited to see both teams utilize their weapons in the backfield, as we've already seen Central Catholic utilizing Ray Lomas.
Yeah, Lomas is usually the guy who starts out the game before you get a heavy dose of Vega late. With a lot of foot speed, that kid.
That's a lot of dosage there to take in late.
Fullback is Blake Escobar. He's the lead blocker. The handoff, Lomas right behind Escobar. Big hole. Lomas high steps it into the end zone. Touchdown, Central Catholic. They're on the board first.
Yeah, that was great blocking by Escobar. Lomas didn't really have to do much, but just followed big number 3-5 right through those bunch of baby blue helmets. And he gets the Raiders in for a nice touchdown and an opening drive score for the Raiders.
Nice job by Central Catholic. They go 35 yards quickly down the football field. They take the lead. And on for the extra point try is Smart. The hold is a good one. The kick, also a good one. 7-0 the score as Lomas has put in his 24th touchdown of the year, and he gives his team an early 7-0 lead with 7:34 remaining opening quarter here in this Division IV semifinal game.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Well, Jason, that was a pretty effective opening drive for Central Catholic, albeit a short one. They started at their own at the center 35-yard line and took it down the field, all behind Lomas, who did all the carrying and gets in from 15 yards out for the opening score. Now, it strikes me that when you're the underdog in the road team, you better have an answer, and you better have an answer early. Is it imperative that center score on this particular possession, or at least in your mind, do they just need to move the football a bit, get some first downs, and show that they can move the ball against the defense?
As the opposing team and visiting team and lower-seeded team, I would say a touchdown here is very necessary. You don't want to get these Raiders going with their head of steam. You want to try to stick in there and make it a shootout, and I think that's the best chance they have.
Gervais and Belair deep. Gervais as they're facing Smart to Smart's left. Belair to his right. This is Gervais from the 8-yard line across the 20, and down he goes. Right there to make the play was Miguel Hernandez, who stops Gervais in his tracks at the 20-yard line, a return of 12 yards. Nice tackle on special teams by Hernandez.
Yeah, one thing I'm enjoying here, Jeff, is anytime there's a good play by the Central Catholic Raiders, you get to hear the hand clapping, but instead everybody's got gloves on, so it makes a cool little noise out here. I'm kind
it's like a muffled clap.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. It's different, but I'm enjoying still out here with a little bit of chilliness to the weather, and still a big crowd turnout for this playoff game for Central Catholic Raiders.
Center going the pistol formation on first down. Munt showing blitz from the outside. Here's a handoff. Belair trying to do a quick hitter up the middle, no gain on the play. Belair with great speed up to the line, but just ran into a wall of navy blue jerseys. Second down and 10.
Yeah, you can have as much speed as you want, but when you have big 300-pounders in there filling those holes, it's hard to fit through them. But nonetheless, I do expect to see Belair take at least one or a couple long ones, as he's got just excessive amount of speed in the backfield.
Pistol formation out of the right-hand side for the quarterback, Anderson. He's got two receivers near side, one to the far side on second down and 10. The snap, play action. Anderson sets up. He's got time. He throws underneath, but a little bit behind his receiver. Incomplete. Guys are getting open. That pass was intended for David Tolentino. And Anderson looks like he might be rushing just a bit. He had Gervais open on the seam route earlier, wide open, but threw it too hard, didn't have enough touch on it. That time on that pass, a little bit behind his target.
Yeah, well, like Coach Jabali was saying before this game, this is their very first semifinal appearance for the entire School of Center. So maybe he's feeling a little bit of that is Tyrell Anderson in the backfield. So maybe he's feeling a little bit of that pressure and to perform, and you can see it here early.
Play action to Belair. Now he's going to tuck it away and run. Anderson, nice move, bounces to the outside. He's going to get the first down. What foot speed. He looked dead to rights in the backfield, Jason, was in a pile, and then somehow bounced out of it to the left and picks up the yards he needs to get a first down and move the chains for the Cougars.
Yeah, that was an amazing play, amazing show of athleticism there by Anderson. Nice play action, and I'm almost positive that was a design keeper, as he didn't even really look downfield, but nonetheless, he picked up good yardage on that. He looks almost as fast as the running back right now. That's a solid tandem, as they've both rushed for about 1,000. Well, we have
almost 3,000 yards combined.
Combined, it is about 3,000 yards. That's ridiculous for a quarterback and a running back in the rushing category.
That was a gain of 13. First down, first down of the game for center. Here is a handoff. Belair. No, Anderson's going to pull it away. He's trying to roll out, and this time he's going to go down.
Yeah, that was
nice run support by Munt.
Yeah, that was Munt out there. He's a big defensive end, and he's out there showing it. He's going to look good in that those odd-colored Oregon Ducks jerseys, as they just got the new jerseys made by Nike this year.
Yeah, John Munt heading to the University of Oregon next year. Tackle was made by Terrell Elder. After Munt cut off Anderson to the outside, Elder came flying in to make the tackle. Loss of about 6 yards on the play, maybe 7. Nope, second and 16. It is a loss of 6. We're halfway through the first quarter, 6 minutes in. 3 receivers far side for Anderson, 1 to the near side, the short side of the field. Belair to his left in the backfield. 3-4 defense for Central Catholic. Play action. Here comes the pressure. Anderson throwing the screen. Belair is open. Bounces to the outside. Gets to the original line of scrimmage. Plus breaks a tackle. Heads downfield. Gets a block. And then will be pulled down from the backside at the 43-yard line. They said this kid is tough to tackle. At 5'6", 165 pounds, he is not very big, but he shook a couple of tacklers there. and gets a big gain for the Cougars.
Yeah, despite the fact that the blocking led to that, I think if he didn't have those two blockers ahead of him towards the end of that run, he would have took that in for 6 points. He ended up running into one of his blockers as his blockers were doing so well. They were still in front of him 20 yards down the field, and he ended up running into one of them. Still a great game by Belair, and that's one of many that I expect to see here tonight.
Belair lining up to the right of Anderson in the backfield. First down in Central Catholic territory at the 42. Munt showing blitz from the outside. Here he comes. Play action. Munt's going to run right over Belair. Anderson running for his life. Rolls away from everybody down the sideline and picks up a yard. You could see how Anderson frustrates opposing teams' rushers because you get in there, you think you have him, and the next thing you know, he's down the sideline and gets a yard out of it.
Yeah, he looks like he's outrunning any defensive end or any defensive lineman, no problem. They're getting in the backfield, and he's just turning on the jets. And he's getting out there. He turned that sack, or a potential sack for a loss of, I'd say, at least 10 yards into a gain of 1. So that's definitely a positive weapon you want to have if you are the center Cougars.
Officials are actually going to mark Anderson out of bounds with a loss of 1, but you're right, Jason, that could have been a lot worse. Instead, it's 2nd down and 11 from the 43-yard line of the Raiders. Tight formation, stack of 3 to the right-hand side, 1 off the left hip of the left tackle. Toss sweep right side, Belair finds a hole, cuts up field, spin move inside the 35. He'll be tackled right at the 35, and he'll be about 3 yards shy of a first down, gain of 8.
That kid's got some serious quickness coming out of the backfield, as I didn't even see the hole, and he's running through a hole that didn't exist. That was solid. Before the defense could even slide over to pick up a hole, he was already through it and gaining yards as it brings up a 3rd and 3 here. That's unbelievable amount of speed and just acceleration that kid carries.
He averages over 173 yards a game, almost 7.5 yards per carry. 3 receivers to the near side, the short side of the field, 1 to the far side on a 3rd and 3. Central Catholic looking for a big stop, and now we got a penalty marker, and a delay of game is going to go against center, and so that will back them up 5 yards. The Cougars can't believe it. That seemed like a fairly quick delay. That didn't seem out of the ordinary in terms of the length of time it was taking for the Cougars to get set up, but now 3rd and 3 turns into 3rd and 8. So another big 3rd down for center here early in this football game. 4:26 remaining opening quarter. 3 receivers now to the far side, 1 to the near side. Central Catholic showing blitz from their outside linebackers. Here they come. Back to pass Anderson. As time floats one down the field. Nice touch on this football and a great defensive play by Jacob Hodges. Knocks that one away.
Yeah, that was exactly what you want to do as a defensive back, as we hear the muffled clapping from the side of the Raiders fans. But man, what amazing defensive play by Hodges on that one, as there was a beautiful throw by Anderson, led his receiver wonderful, and little did he know Hodges was right there to knock it down.
Devin Eldridge had position and about a half step on Hodges, but Hodges just playing the ball nicely, didn't try to force the action, just waited for the ball to come into Eldridge's mitts and stripped it away from him. 4th down and 8, and the Cougars are going to go for it here in in-between territory at the 40-yard line of Central Catholic. Anderson in the shotgun. Takes a snap. Drops back, sets up. Now he's throwing left on an out route. Pass complete, but a nice open field tackle by Central Catholic is going to force a turnover on downs despite the fact that center gains yardage on the play. Nice job in solo coverage out there. Looks like that was Matthew Ringer. No, excuse me. Joey Abate with the tackle on the far corner. So a gain down to the 34-yard line. It was a pickup of 6, but center needed 8. And a turnover on down. Central Catholic has the football with 4:13 remaining, leading 7-0 here in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's been pretty solid play so far by the Raiders, exactly what we expected coming into this game. And so far they are executing precisely what they wanted to do.
Offset eye left-hand side on first down. Handoff running left. No gain on the play. Nice job by the center defense getting there and bottling up. Looks like that was Ringer on the carry. Going to give him a yard. 2nd down and 9 as Lomas is going to check back into the ball game. A little bit of confusion. Nathan Loya was headed out. Now he's heading back in. And then Loya will head out to the far side. Chris Lean will line up on the near side. Straight I formation this time in the backfield. This is a handoff. Lomas from the fullback slot is going to be hit after a 2-yard gain. He'll take it to the 37. 3rd down and 7 coming up.
Yeah, I'm a little curious to see what they call here on a 3rd and 7, as they have been a primary rushing team. I don't think they've thrown a pass play yet. So this is a little bit more than what you want to do on a 3rd down and hand the ball off on 3rd and 8. But with such an explosive running backs, I would not be surprised if they do call a run play here.
Escobar is going to check back in at fullback, replacing Ringer, who comes out. Lomas is now dotting the I. Munt lines up at tight end left. 2 receivers far side. On 3rd down and 7, we've got Aldridge back to pass. And no, excuse me, a nice delay. Lomas is going to get the 1st down. What a great ball fake on the draw play.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful, as even me and my co-host up here, we both thought the quarterback had the ball, and little did we know there's number 4, Lomas, running halfway down the field to pick up a very solid 1st down. Great play call, I should say, on 3rd down, as I had no idea what they were going to call. Little did I know they call another run play and pick up a 1st down. So solid running so far by the Raiders.
Ball at the 46-yard line. Nice job by Coach Canepa and his staff. Here's a handoff. Lomas running right, finds a hole, is going to get close to another 1st down. Might be a half-yard shy into center territory around the 45-yard line.
A little bit of an update for you guys. I got a friend who is at the Folsom Buhack game, so he's giving me updates. And Folsom just went ahead and took the lead. They are up 7-6. Folsom versus Buhack Colony in the Sacramento area.
We are covering 5 games tonight of the 6 semifinals being played this evening. 2 more taking place tomorrow, though we will be at the Division 5 and 6 championship games at the Great Bowl in Lodi. We're also covering the Los Banos game against Escalon. We'll provide you an update of that as we get them. 2nd down and 1. Central Catholic handoff running left. This is Ringer. Ringer gets the ball inside the 40. He's got a 1st down easily and takes it down to the 37-yard line of the Cougars.
That was a good run by Ringer. He kept his feet moving. He met a defensive player pretty early there in that run and just kept moving, kept doing exactly what they teach you to do as a running back, and he ended up picking up a 1st down. That was a solid run by Ringer.
Well, Central Catholic is showing that they can move the ball against this center defense, and the Cougars need to get a stop. They had him in a 3rd and long, but then a draw play got more than enough for a 1st down. Artis hasn't had to pass the ball yet at all. Out to the far side, Loya. At this point, mostly ceremonial, the receivers. Tight end right, the snap, the handoff. This is Ringer again behind his offensive line. Nice job gang tackling, but still several yards down the field. The ball to about the 32-yard line. A fast-moving first quarter. We've got 1:20 left in the quarter, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 4 for Central Catholic.
Yeah, so far this Central Catholic Raiders offense has just been fairly unstoppable. They've been able to do whatever they want. They've drove down on their first possession, scored a touchdown, and they are on their way to doing that again here on their 2nd possession as they are driving nicely and now into the Cougar territory.
Lomas, offset eye left with his fullback Escobar. Here's the snap. Lomas slips, trying to get the handoff. Will that slow him down? Let's see. It's going to be very close to a 1st down. They have slowed him down a half step. We'll see if that's going to keep him shy of the 1st or if we're going to have our first measurement of the game. We have an official's timeout. Clock stops with 33 seconds left in the quarter, and we're going to get a measurement here.
That was a good run by Lomas, even though he did trip up a little bit in the backfield, didn't quite have his footing as he went to take off, and still nearly picked up the 1st down, maybe even possibly picked up the 1st down. That just tells you that never give up on a play. Even if something goes wrong, it can still turn into something right. Just keep your feet moving and keep moving forward.
Well, as long as you don't have the ball, your knee can get down and you can get back up again and keep going.
Right.
And in some instances, as we saw on Turkey Day yesterday, your knee can hit the ground. You could still get up and get going and get a touchdown.
Just don't throw a challenge flag after it.
Meanwhile, this one looks like it's going to be 4th down and a chain link, folks. Really all Garrett Artis needs to do at quarterback is lean forward, and he's going to have a 1st down, depending on what Central Catholic elects to do here, but I'd be shocked if they don't go for it here.
Yeah, seeing as the high school level, that's a pretty long field goal here, sitting at about the 27, 28 yard line. So that's definitely out of a high school kid's range.
Yeah, this would be about a
44
yarder. Yeah, then given how close it is, you might as well go for it here. Central Catholic up to the line. The officials start the clock. This might be the last play of the quarter. Artis is going to play action fake and pass, and the pass is pulled in. Escobar one-handed. The fullback gets it in the flat, takes it inside the 15-yard line for a first down.
What a play call on 4th and short, excuse me. A play action fullback flat. That was an awesome play call. Did not expect to see the fullback running out there in the flats to pick up a pass, as that is their very first pass play of the game, and it's to a fullback on a play action flat. That was absolutely beautiful play call.
And a great catch by Escobar, who grabbed it with the left hand and pulled it in.
Yeah, they teach you as a receiver or anybody to try to grab the point of the ball and stop the ball in the air and bring it down. That's exactly what he was able to do with one hand. It made it look very easy. Beautiful play by the Raiders, as that will end it for the first quarter.
7-0. Central Catholic leads it, but they are knocking on the door again, looking for more. The ball at the center 11-yard line as the teams switch sides to begin the second quarter. You're following the action on your destination for high school sports, PlayOn Sports. High school sports lives here.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events and all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here.
We've got an update in that Los Banos-Escalon game. They were scoreless after one, but Los Banos jumped on the board with a touchdown in the second quarter. 7-0 the score in that particular ball game. Here, we've also got a 7-0 score, this at the end of one quarter, and Central Catholic looking for more here, and Center has not been able to show yet defensively that they've been able to stop the Raider ground game.
Yeah, this Raider ground game is just proving to be a little bit much for this Center Cougar defense, as they have been pretty much able to do whatever they want. They have thrown the ball a total of one time, and they have driven nicely on both times they have possessed the ball. So this running game, as we expected here before we even got here, that this is just an explosive running game for the Raiders.
This drive started at the 35-yard line, the Central Catholic 35-yard line. Their first drive started at the Center 35-yard line. Make that the 30. Here's a handoff. Lomas running right. He's going to take it inside. Wow, did he get in? Let's see. They're going to spot him at the goal line. That should be enough for a first down, a gain of 10. He just kept going.
Yeah, he definitely didn't want to stop. He was keeping that. That was the dedication, and he wanted that touchdown. There was not much that was going to stop him, and it took the whole Center defense to pull him down, and he still almost got it. That was great. It's almost amazing the fact that this is just one of their two explosive running backs for the Central Catholic Raiders.
Well, and if there's any justice, Coach Canepa is going to reward Lomas for that with that last run with an opportunity to carry it again for a touchdown. Artis is going to hand off Lomas, and he's in easily for the score. From a yard out, Central Catholic has scored the second time they have touched the ball. There's 11:26 remaining in the first half of play, and it's a 13-0 Central Catholic lead.
That was just excellent play on the goal line. He had a big hole, ran right through it. I don't even know if he got touched before he got over the goal line. Just so solid play so far by the Central Catholic Raiders.
Extra point try coming up here. This one's going to be blocked, going to be caught. How about that? Wow. Flying in, Robert Gervais, not only for the block, he caught the ball off the foot of Kenny Smart. I have not seen that since the championship game a few years ago at the State Bowl Championship, Cathedral against St. Mary's, where Tyler Gaffney of Cathedral came off the edge and caught the ball coming off the foot of the kicker on the extra point try and ran off the field with it. Gervais did the same thing here for center.
Yeah, had that been a field goal try, not an extra point try,
he would have been in the end zone.
Yeah, that would have been 6 points for the Cougars. So that's something that the Raiders might want to look out for if they have to go for a field goal at any point of this game, because that was just an athletic play there by Gervais.
Wow, well, let's see if center can parlay that into some momentum and into some points. As midway through the second quarter, Los Banos and Escalon are now tied at 7. Here our score is 13-0 after the blocked extra point. And Central Catholic set to kick the ball off again. Gervais and Belair back deep. Smart set to kick. Going left to right is Central Catholic. 11:26 remaining in the first half of play, and center needs to get some points on the board to keep pace with what has been a very good running game so far for the Raiders. Smart puts the ball high into the air, but returnable. Belair comes up to his 10-yard line. Across the 20, finds a hole, 30, heads down the field, 40, and gets tackled at the 41-yard line.
You can mark my words right now, that kid will score a touchdown tonight. He is too fast. If it's on a kickoff return or a running play, that kid will find the end zone at some point this evening.
The officials are going to spot the ball at the 40, a return of 30 yards, and that is where center will take over, Jason, with their best field position of the football game so far. But again, imperative that they score because their defense has not shown that they can slow down Central Catholic's running attack.
Yeah, I said it was a necessity to score on their last drive, but it gets even more necessary to score on this drive here, as now these Raiders at home are up 13-0.
Tolentino splits out far side slot. On first down, Anderson looking for Tolentino. Here comes the pressure. Anderson dodges the first man, cuts upfield, and gets a first down.
He can make some serious cut moves, can that kid.
What a luxury it is to have a quarterback who, hey, if you get in trouble in the backfield, he's already been sacked once. He's been pressured every time, but he's scrambled twice for first downs. That was a gain of 11.
Yeah, he made a guy miss in absolute open field and just almost like basketball, just completely broke his ankles on that one. That was a great cut moves. He is explosive out there at the quarterback position.
Eldridge, Gervais, and Tolentino out to the far side. One to the near side. Belair in the backfield to the left of Anderson. On first down and 10, handoff, Belair. He almost is stripped of the football, but hangs on to it and gets tackled at the 45-yard line for a gain of 4. Second down and 6 coming up. 10:40 remaining in the first half. Both teams have their full complement of first half timeouts.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick first quarter as both teams bringing out solid rushing games.
And a fairly clean game so far. 2 penalties so far for a grand total of 10 yards, both of those going against the center Cougars. Anderson shotgun, same formation except Belair this time to the right of Anderson in the backfield. Play action to Belair. Here's a pass. Man open, wide open, pass complete. Inside the 15 down to the 12-yard line goes Blake Tate on the reception.
Yeah, that was Joey Abate on the defense there, who just happened to get burned. He got caught on the sideline. I think he just didn't get the turnaround quick enough. And there was a great throw by Anderson, who led his receiver beautifully. And that's exactly what center wants to do here, is take advantage of mistakes made by the Central Catholic Raiders.
And showcase their speed. They are quick at all the skill spots. 3 receivers far side, 1 near side. That's Tate. Belair in the backfield to the left this time. Anderson from the 12-yard line of the Raiders is going to keep it himself. He almost breaks a tackle, takes it down to the 7 before he is dragged down. Hanging on for dear life was Ivan Swalv at the 7-yard line. Actually, they're going to spot it at the 8, a gain of 4, second down and 6. Well, this is a pretty crisp-looking drive right here for the center Cougars.
Yeah, they had the opportunity to do a drive like this the other times they possessed the ball. He did have a couple wide receivers open. He just looked a little frantic in the backfield there, wasn't able to make his throws, and he looks a lot more calm here on this drive.
Anderson on second down. The snap, takes his time. Now here comes the pressure. He's going to bounce to the outside. He's going to throw. He's got a man open. Touchdown, center.
That was David Tolentino on the reception there. He was wide open. He just made that's exactly what you want to do as a wide receiver. Run your route And if you are still covered, just keep moving, as you got a quarterback who can make things happen in the backfield and extend those plays. And that's exactly what happened right there, as Anderson just extended that play and ended up finding his receiver Tolentino in the backfield, or in the back of the end zone. Beautiful drive by center. That's exactly what they want to do to answer to this Raider offense.
Extra point try coming up here. The holder is Anderson. The kick is good. 13-7 is our score, and you said it, Jason. Center was looking for an answer, and they found one right there. They trail by just one possession after the extra point try.
Yeah, that was a good drive. They needed to answer back there. Now they're only down 6, so exactly what they wanted to do on that drive.
Folks, you're following the action on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. 9:12 remaining, first half of play. 13-7, Central Catholic leading it at home here in this Division IV semifinal.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the Play on Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Well, a nice drive by the Cougars. Now can they come up with a defensive stop against a Central Catholic team that has scored the first 2 times they have touched the football?
Yeah, they definitely haven't found an answer to this Central Catholic running game so far. But that touchdown definitely gets their momentum going. It gets a little bit of the blood flowing. It could very well wake up their defense.
Matt Cooper, who just kicked the extra point for the Cougars, is ready to kick off here, but he's down one member of his special teams unit. Now he's got all 11, counting himself. Cougars set to kick off. 2 back to receive. For Central Catholic around the 10-yard line. Cooper with the left foot. Ball along the ground, going to be fielded at the 30-yard line, heading to the near side, cutting up field, and then finally getting tackled around the 37 or 38-yard line. On the return is Jacob Hodges. So they elect to keep the ball away from Vega, who is back deep, and Vega's going to stay in the football game. So we get our first look at Ray Vega, and his numbers are staggering, given that he had to sit out the first 6 games because he transferred from Davis High School and is now finally granted his eligibility. You got to sit out 30 days pending your transfer. Vega is racking up 14 yards a carry.
14 and a half.
He gets the ball, his first carry of the game, heading left side, and he is met short of the 40-yard line and driven to the turf. He's at the 39, a gain of 2, second down and 8.
That was good defense by the Cougars there, as I'm sure they've watched their film on whatever they could find on Vega, as it's the first time he touches the ball and he only goes for 2 yards. So it's exactly what they want to do. They want to keep that average down and don't let him break a good one.
3 touchdowns per game. He's had 18 through 6 games.
Man.
Almost 1,000 yards in 6 games and 18 TDs. Here he is in the backfield again, hands off, running right, gets through a hole. Look out, he's down the sideline. He's inside the 40 and will be tackled at the 32-yard line of center.
Oh, man, he is quick. He looks like he's trying to take it to the end zone every time he touches the ball. As he got up there, he's definitely hyped up. He's getting his team going. He's giving out high fives for awesome blocks. He looks like he is ready to go out there.
Big gain for Vega. Those 2 yards hurt his yards per carry. That big gain there just helped it a lot.
It's almost like he's playing just for his stats.
30 yards on that carry. Offset eye right, Vega dotting the I. The fullback is Escobar. Tight end right is Munt. Here's the handoff. Vega running to his right-hand side. He is going to be driven out of bounds. Right around the 25-yard line. We'll see where our officials spot it here. They're going to put it at the 27, it looks like. Maybe the 26. Gain of, let's see, 5 on the play. Second down and 5. And we got our first timeout of the football game, as center's going to talk it over with 8:01 remaining. Actually, an official carry 4 yards for Vega on that last one. Second down and 6. But let's keep it right here on PlayOnSports.com and talk about the difficulty right now for the center defensive staff and their defensive coordinator, how you stop Central Catholic, because Lomas has been running well. He runs pretty hard and is a tough guy to bring down. Then you bring in Vega, who's tough to bring down and is incredibly fast. How do you counter that if you're center?
Yeah, obviously they're trying to figure that out right now. That's why they called this timeout, as Vega has seen 3 carries in a row, and obviously these defensive coordinators have figured out that they need to figure out how to get him under wraps and figure that out quick. He's
carried the ball 3 times
right,
for 37 yards, and that's below his average.
That's amazing.
I know, really. You look at his numbers, and they're very Madden-esque. And I'm talking not the former Raiders coach and longtime analyst, but the video game.
Right.
He has been nothing short of incredible in his just short 6 games as a senior here at Central Catholic High School. He stays in the football game. Center has got 2 timeouts remaining. Central Catholic has all 3 of theirs. Here with a 2nd down and 6, straight I formation, strong side right. That 4-4 defense maintaining for center. Handoff, they're going to go to Escobar. Escobar is going to try to bounce to the outside, and he's going to be tackled after a 1st down at the 17-yard line, a gain of 10.
Yeah, one thing I have noticed about this Central Catholic offense is they do like to use their fullback. They already hit Escobar on a flat from a play action. Nice little fullback dive to the left on that one. They're utilizing him almost as the Raiders utilize Marcel Reese.
One receiver to the far side is Lean. One to the near side is Loya. No passes so far to the receivers for Central Catholic. I formation. And we got center jumping into the neutral zone. It's going to turn into 1st down and 5. That is the 3rd penalty of the game against center. All have gone for 5 yards. An false start, a delay of game, and now a neutral zone infraction against the Cougars. And an official's timeout on the field as we've got an equipment issue for center, one of their safeties. So I almost dropped my roster. And we're on top of the press box here. If that thing goes over the edge, we're in trouble, or at least I certainly am. 1st down and 5 from the 11-yard line. Artis the snap, the handoff. This is a run to the right-hand side. Vega's in the end zone, touchdown.
Man, this running game for Central Catholic is just absolutely amazing. It's definitely it's an enjoyment to watch this running game, as the center Cougars have yet to find an answer to the running game of the Central Catholic Raiders.
It's just so tough to stop. I mean, if you're not big up front and quick on the outside, what can you do? Here's Smart on for the extra point try. The holder is Artis. The kick this time will not be blocked. It will be good. 19-7 is the score. A little surprised Central Catholic didn't try to go for 2 there, given how well the running game has gone, and that they could have made it a 14-point advantage, but Coach Canepa elects to go for it more conventionally. And with 7:31 remaining in the half, Central Catholic has a 20-7 lead. And it'll be interesting to see how center responds here. Central Catholic's going to get the ball to begin the 2nd half of play as well. So a stop on the Raiders' part here. They get the ball back and another chance to score. They've scored every time they've touched the football, Jason.
That would be absolutely devastating to the center Cougars if that happens. That is one thing that you want to avoid here, knowing that the Raiders get the ball back at half in front of this home field crowd. You want to go down and you want to get another. You do not want to go into halftime down to 2 scores, because they have yet to stop the Raiders. The Raiders have touched the ball 3 times. They've had 3 drives, and they've scored 3 times. So until you can stop that, you want to be able to answer the scores.
Escalon, with just 41 seconds remaining in the 1st half of play, has taken a 14-7 lead against Los Banos.
I'm not completely up to date on the time left in the game, but I do know Folsom is leading Buhack 21-6.
That sounds like that's early 1st quarter. If it's a Folsom game,
yeah,
you should have 21 points up within 6 minutes.
As far as I know, too, Buhack's starting quarterback was injured, too, so I'll keep you guys updated on that as I'm receiving text messages via friend.
Here is a kick. This is Gervais from his 8-yard line across the 20, 25, out to the 27-yard line. Make that the 26, a return of 18. And that is where center will take over 1st down and 10. We got an injured Cougar out there on the football field. And we'll see. I don't see who that is yet. Gervais, I think, landed on somebody at the end of the play.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the Cougars. As he was rolling around, he looked like he was in quite a bit of pain down there.
And we've got an official timeout on the field while they take a look at the injured Cougar. Again, haven't seen who that is yet. It is tough, though. It is difficult. You know, one of the things that people like and is one of the most exciting plays in football is the kick return. It's also one of the most dangerous. You got guys with a head of steam at the high school level, at least, from their 40-yard line, sprinting down the football field full steam. You got the guys on the other side who are trying to create some type of, at least no longer a wedge, but certainly some kind of blocking scheme so that you can get your guy open. You've got your return man who's running right up the middle behind him. That is a lot of people with a lot of momentum.
It's like a high-speed car wreck.
Yeah, pretty much. And, you know, at the professional ranks, they say pretty much every hit is like is like getting in a car accident. And at the high school level, sometimes you get injuries, like with our player down on the field right now. Well, as we look at this next upcoming Cougar drive, and as we have a break in the action, Jason, you know, we're seeing center being able to move the football, which is good news if you're a Cougars fan. The flip side, though, is for Central Catholic, you haven't shown the ability to stop the Raiders' running game. Just one pass in the game for Central Catholic. You can't match scores forever if you're center. At some point, the Cougars are going to have to do something, force a turnover or something along that line, I would think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They do want to do exactly what they did on their last drive, and they looked beautiful on their last drive as Anderson was able to find a couple of his receivers open. They drove the ball nicely, was able to get 7 points. They want to continue on that and try to build on their defense as they need to stop the Central Catholic running game.
Well, good to see that Armani Reyes, who was injured on the play, is actually walking off the field, albeit with a limp to that right leg. But hopefully that's a good sign, and he's able to get back in the football game. Meanwhile, center is going to take over. With 7:26 remaining in the half and 2 timeouts they can use, Anderson, the late play call from the sideline, gets back into the game. The ball at the 26-yard line of the Cougars, first down and 10. One receiver to the near side is Tate. 3 to the far side. Belair in the backfield to the left of Anderson. They're packing 7 in the box. High snap. This is Anderson who's going to take it, and he's going to be wrestled down. Maybe the line of scrimmage. That's it. Escobar with the tackle.
Yeah, it's almost like Central Catholic has figured out that Anderson likes to pull the ball down and run with it. They probably should have actually handed that one off instead of fake the handoff, as Belair had a little bit of room there on the outside. Nonetheless, good defensive calls by the defensive coordinator of the Catholic Raiders.
Anderson gets a few extra players in the huddle. 7 in the box again. Make that 6 with the 4 receivers out there. It kind of spreads. No, it is 7. Spreads it out a little bit. Munt showing up and cheating in a little bit, looking for a blitz. High snap to Anderson again. And he's going to be tackled by Munt, who ran right through the block of Belair, who's probably given up at least 100 pounds to Munt.
Well, let's not mention that, or not forget to mention that Johnny Munt is 6'5", so he is not a small human being coming out there, as he just ran right through that block with ease and took down the quarterback for a sack. That's one of the main reasons right there that he was looked at by a bunch of these colleges here in the area, and why he is verbally committed to Oregon University.
3rd down and 14. After a loss of 4 yards, Anderson with 4 receivers. Takes the snap, play action, drops back, has some time, pocket collapsing. He's going to try to bounce to the outside. He runs into his own man and gets tackled. He'll gain a yard, but it's going to bring up 4th down. And we have another player down. Is that Anderson?
Yeah, it looked like it is, or it looks like.
Boy, that would be a huge loss for...
Yeah, it
is Anderson. That would be a
7.
huge loss for center. He's going to have to come out for at least a play, and definitely the punting unit's going to come on. But, boy, if you lose that guy, given that you've got 2 playmakers, Belair is one, and then Anderson the other.
Yeah, that's definitely unfortunate, as it looks like it could be a leg injury. And that's one of the explosiveness from Anderson is his legs and ability to make stuff happen in the backfield.
Well, it looked like Anderson was trying to step up into the pocket and then bounce to the outside, and he ran into one of his linemen. And that's something that you saw as well when Belair caught a screen pass earlier, is sometimes you're so quick, your other guys aren't quick enough to catch up with you, and you try to make a move, and then the next thing you know, bing, bang, boom, you're running right into him. And on that play, Anderson ran into his teammate and then got tackled from the backside, and now is down on the turf, and that is really making Cougar fans very, very nervous. It is 4th down, so you would think the punting unit is going to come on, and it's good to see Anderson walking off the field.
He's holding his hammy.
Boy,
Looks like it could be a hamstring.
I hope it's not too serious. Punting unit's going to come on. Meanwhile, if you're looking at center and who their backup is at quarterback, so far, Anderson is the only guy who's been out there the entire year.
Yeah, no other quarterback has taken a snap or at least thrown a ball as far as we know. They could have taken a snap and handed the ball off, but he has not attempted a pass. The backup quarterback has not attempted a single pass this entire season.
Well, the punting unit on for center, and Coach Jabali is going to be sorting that out here between now and their next offensive series. Kicking from the 10-yard line. High snap, the punt away, Cooper. This one is going to be grabbed at the 43-yard line by Loya. Loya dancing around. He tries to bounce to the outside, breaks a tackle, gets down the sideline, ends up in Cougar territory around center's 30-yard line. And we have a penalty marker, though, back at the 45 of the Cougars. And this one might be coming back.
That's unfortunate because that was a solid run there by the Raiders. He was almost looking like Devin Hester a little bit back there.
Loya doing his best Devin Hester impression.
He was doing fairly good. I really do enjoy the punt returns, as it takes a different kind of individual to excel at the punt returns. You have to have a whole lot of patience and let a couple of those defensive guys run by you and find the holes, make the right cuts. Definitely punt returning is an interesting position to watch, especially up here as a commentator.
First penalty of the football game for Central Catholic at the 5:10 mark of the first half is an illegal use of the hands. The ball back to the 46-yard line, 20-7 Central Catholic leading it in this Division IV semifinal game. And the Center Cougars need to find some answers defensively here against a Central Catholic running game that has been very, very good so far. Escobar and Vega split in the backfield, and now we've got an official's timeout. Vega looked like he found somebody's mouthpiece or something out there on the field.
A little quick update. Folsom has scored yet again, so they are leading Buhat Colony 28-6.
Munt lines up left, 2 receivers near side. Artis under center takes the snap on first down, hands off Vega, second man through. He's going to be tackled by his shirt, ends up in a pile, and gets taken down at the 49-yard line for a gain of 3.
You're doing good if you can hold Vega to a 3-yard gain, as we've already seen throughout this game so far, that he is just he has the opportunity to take it all the way to the end zone on every time he touches the ball.
Anthony Hall, one of the defensive linemen for center, lost his helmet on the play and has to come out for one play, mandatory. 2 receivers again, this time Munt lining up right. Offset eye right, Vega in the backfield. Artis on second down and 7, play action. He's going to step back and throw. He's got a man open. That's his tight end. Big catch, big first down to the 39-yard line. Munt on the grab. Yeah. And it's a gain of 11 yards. Excuse me, make that 12.
If I'm a high school quarterback, I would love to have a 6'5" individual running across the middle of my field, as he is he's a quarterback's dream at the tight end position. It's definitely in the high school level, as any quarterback will tell you, their tight end is their safety blanket, and to have a 6'5" safety blanket, it's a great blanket to have.
Well, he's not difficult to miss. I mean,
yeah.
You could see him very easily. Split backfield again. Lomas back in the football game. Artis is going to throw. Sets up, slips, and down he goes, and he leaves the football on the field, and it's going to be recovered by Central Catholic. Tackle on the play by Jason Perry, but it would have been a huge opportunity for center, because Artis trying to make a move, forgot the football as he was getting tackled. The ball now back to the 47-yard line and a loss of 7 yards.
Yeah, that was a heads up play by Jonah Frederick, their center. It was seeing the ball just sitting on the ground and had not heard a whistle and was smart enough to just dive on the ball as Frederick saves this drive here for the Raiders.
Munt lines up tight end right, split backfield again. Lomas in the ball game, Vega in the ball game. This is Lomas up the middle, big hole, big carry. He's going to get close to a first down. To the 31-yard line. Maybe a yard shy, 3rd down and 1. You get a 2nd and 17. You get 16 of it back on 1 carry.
You just took everything I was going to say right out of my mouth. That is exactly what you want on 2nd and 17 to gain 16 yards. He turns a possible 3rd and long into a 3rd and very much capable of picking this up.
2:50 remaining in the half. Central Catholic on the march, and remember, they're going to get the football to begin the second half of play. Offset eye right, Lomas in the backfield, tight end right. Artis on the snap, hands off Lomas. Lomas needed a yard. He's going to get a few more than that, down to the 26-yard line, give him 5 and a first down.
Just keep moving those chains. That's what the Raiders have done throughout this entire game. They're keeping that chain gang busy as they've been running up and down the field anytime Central Catholic has the ball. And they are just looking absolutely unstoppable with this running game. As I think it's been still 2 passes, 1 pass from the offense.
2 passes, both complete, and then another time Artis dropped back and he was sacked. Offset eye left, Vega in the backfield. Escobar at fullback. Here's the toss sweep, left side. Here goes Vega. Vega is going to be taken down short of the 20-yard line. It's to be a gain of about 4 yards, 2nd down and 6. Well, if nothing else, center can say right now we're holding Vega below his average.
That is an accomplishment, but at this point, that is not going to advance you in this playoff. So you want to figure out how to do that and score and a bunch of other things that need to go right at this point for the Center Cougars.
Well, in Central Catholic, what mistakes have they made so far? They've had 1 penalty for 10 yards. They've had 1 football that they fumbled and recovered. So really, everything else, they've been doing very, very well. I formation, Lomas back in the game on 2nd down and 6, and now another penalty against Center. This is their 4th of the game, but another neutral zone infraction.
Yeah, one thing I have noticed about the Central Catholic offensive line is they do not move. They will not budge. I've seen Center, they've made a couple motions towards the neutral zone, and this offensive line for Central Catholic, they don't budge at all. They don't move until that ball is snapped, and that is solid play, and that's exactly what you get from long, hard practices, and it's great. It's definitely a hats off to the coaching unit here at Central Catholic High School.
2nd down and 1, handoff Lomas, running right. Lomas is going to be taken down at the 7-yard line. Clock will stop with 1:14 remaining in the half. Again, Central Catholic has all their timeouts they can use. The clock is to the back of the Raiders. And it will start up again once the chains get moved and everything gets reset. The ball at the 7. Out of the game comes Lomas. Officials start the clock back up again. Still a ton of time for Central Catholic to complete this drive. Vega back in the football game. Escobar is his fullback. Munt lines up, tight end right. A receiver either side. Artis on 1st and goal from the 7. Takes a snap, drops the football loose. It looks like Central Catholic is recovered at the line of scrimmage, and now the Raiders are going to use their first timeout. Or are they? The clock's still going. And now the officials are going to blow it dead at the 44-second mark. I think they might have blown it dead before, but there was a little bit more time that ran off the clock. So 44 seconds, a loss of a yard back to the 8-yard line where it'll be 2nd down and goal, and a huge series of plays for Center, Jason. If they can stop the Raiders here and force, worst case for Center, a field goal out of it, and Central Catholic gets the ball to begin the second half of play. I mean, it's going to be a huge hole for Center to dig out of if they give up a touchdown and the Raiders start out with the ball to begin the second half.
Yeah, if they give up a touchdown, that is a huge accomplishment if you can come back into this game. As Central Catholic has so far not been stopped on any time they have touched the ball. But one thing I do want to point out is that blocked extra point that did happen earlier. So if Center could possibly hold them to a field goal, there is always that opportunity that they could get that block and take it in for 6. And they did add a little bit more time on the clock here. So instead of 44 seconds, we're back to 55 seconds.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. I thought some time had run off. I didn't think 11 seconds had run off between when the timeout was signaled and when the officials whistled it dead. I figured it might be back to 48 or 49, but that gives Central Catholic more time. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. A receiver either side, tight end right. Lomas back in the football game. The ball at the 8-yard line, 2nd down and goal. Artis looking for a late play call from the sideline or something, barking out some last-minute instructions after the timeout. Escobar is the fullback. Artis, the snap, the handoff. Lomas running right, so tough to bring down. Does he get in? No signal yet. There it is, touchdown. From 8 yards out, Lomas has his 3rd TD of the first half. And everything going right now for Central Catholic. They dropped the ball twice on that last possession. They got sacked. They started it out with a penalty of 10 yards. They recovered both fumbles. They still get the same result, a touchdown. Extra point try. That is Smart between the uprights. And it is a 27-7 score. Though the scoreboard says 28, but I think they're just a little ahead of themselves there. It is 27-7. Now it is corrected, and with just 49 seconds left in the half, Center really has their work cut out for themselves now. Jeff Kurtz alongside Jason Patterson, Will McCombs, our producer, Victor Adams, doing all the video for you tonight. We'll see if we can get you an update in the Los Banos-Escalon game, which has gone to halftime. 14-7 at the half. Escalon with the lead in that one. And here, 27-7, and Center needs a big play and a touchdown in 49 seconds.
Yeah, not only do they need to score, they need to play defense. They have yet to stop this Raider offense. So, I mean, anybody who can do math, you can obviously figure out that if you can't stop them from scoring, you're not going to be able to catch up. As you are already down 20 points, you need some defensive stops. You're getting the ball back to the Raiders to start the second half. So you got a 49-second drive here that you have to do at the end of this half, and you absolutely need a touchdown. I think we're going to get a timeout here from Central Catholic.
Yeah, Central Catholic's going to take a timeout. We'll take a quick timeout as well here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the Play on Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows you to broadcast all your games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP. So far a pretty exciting game, pretty high pace as we've had a lot of rushing, not too many passes. I think in a total we've had under 10 passes between both schools. So obviously the rushing game that we expected, and almost the outcome that I personally expected. I expected Central Catholic to be a little bit better here than the Center Cougars. But to be this good was probably unexpected. They have played pretty flawless football here throughout this entire first half.
And even when they've made a few mistakes, they've been able to recover from them with no problem at all. You're in a 2nd and 17 situation. You give the ball to Lomas. He makes up 16 of those 17 yards. You fumble the ball twice. You got your quarterback and your center dropping on it immediately. Losing yards both times on both of those plays, and Lomas picks you up and ends up scoring the touchdown from 8 yards out. Now Smart set to kick off for Central Catholic. Again, 49 seconds remaining in the first half. Belair is back with Gervais around their 5-yard line. Smart has yet to put one in the end zone for a touchback. These balls have been returnable on the kickoff. We'll see what he does here. Smart up in the air, drives one deep. Gervais is going to grab it at his 3-yard line. He's across the 10, 15, behind a block. It's taken down. That was Munt.
Yeah, that's a big boy out there.
Yes, it is. When he wraps you up, you stay wrapped up.
He's easily the tallest guy on the field. Easily the tallest guy on the field. At 6'5", he's a big boy. If you want to know where number 84 is, just look for the highest gold helmet, and you will see 84 on the jersey. I can't say it enough. He's a big boy.
Ball at the 19-yard line. If you brought him with you to Black Friday last night, Jason, you would have made it into Target with no problem whatsoever. Just follow him.
I would have got a couple TVs. They would have just handed him one in the parking lot and said, please don't hurt me. He's a big individual.
Good to see Anderson back out there at quarterback. Puts a man in motion. Play action. No, it's a handoff. Running to the right-hand side. No gain. In fact, a loss on the play.
I'll give you one.
David Tolentino. And now we've got a penalty marker down there as well and holding against center.
I'll give you one guess on who was in the backfield to make that tackle.
Does his last name rhyme with bunt?
Yeah, it sure does, because it is almost too much for this this offensive line. Munt is just blowing up anybody that's trying to get in front of him for a block, and he's looking absolutely amazing out there. He wants to take home a Division 4, I believe this is, Division 4 championship on his resume before he moves on to the Ducks, who are doing pretty good this year as well, too. So he's going to try to keep that championship momentum going.
That is a holding penalty against center and a loss of 10 yards from the spot of the infraction, which is about a yard or two deep behind the line of scrimmage. So it's now first down and about 21. Anderson, the shotgun. They're probably going to keep it down the ground here. Here's Belair. Belair in the open field can be dangerous. Belair is going to run away from some people, crosses midfield, and gets hauled down.
I'm still sticking
right at
with
the
that.
midfield marker. Wow.
I'm sticking with the fact that he is going to take one. We do have a
There's
flag.
a flag, though.
I'm getting a motion from our videographer that it's going to be a face mask.
Yep, it looked like it because Belair was running and he got yanked down in kind of an awkward manner. That should be another 15 yards tacked on to the end of this thing. And with 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, unfortunately what happened is the referee happened to slip and fall, and I think they're checking to make sure his ankle is okay, as it looks like he's going to need some help off the field. So before we are going to get the personal foul face mask call on the Central Catholic Raiders.
So that's going to be 15 yards from the end of the play, and that's going to give center the ball at around the 34-yard line with 30 seconds left and 2 timeouts.
Yeah, that was one heck of a run by Belair. As I'm going to still stick with it, he is going to score a touchdown in this game. He's going to take a long one.
And we've lost an official now to an ankle injury. They got to mark that off. The officials have put the ball down, but they still have to mark off 15 yards. And now the officials have to sort out who's going to cover what area. Usually you've got one back judge, a couple of side judges, your umpire, then the man right behind the linebackers, and we'll see where they're going to put everybody here, but they still have to mark off the yardage at the end of the penalty. Now center's up to the line. The coaching staff is saying, hey, wait a minute. We got to step this penalty off first, do we not? There we go. So the face mask penalty is going to give the ball to the Cougars at the 34-yard line with 30 seconds left in the half.
This is a good chance for the Cougars here to do exactly what they needed to do and get a touchdown before halftime.
Well, they need to get this to a 2-score game. Huge play. Officials start the clock. Anderson's got to hurry it up a little bit. Anderson takes the snap. He's going to drop back. He's got some time. He dodges one. He dodges another. He's looking for running room. He loses his helmet, and he's going to be brought down. And Escobar's claiming he's got the football, but the officials had already blown the whistle, and now we got a timeout being called by center. Escobar came out of there with the ball. Anderson lost his helmet. He's going to have to come out for a play. He's going to lose 3 yards, make that 2 actually, 2nd down and 12. Timeout called by center with now 14 seconds left in the half. I don't know how we lost another second on the timeout, but we got about 10 of them back. So earlier on when Central Catholic had called a timeout and the clock had stopped with 44 seconds remaining, they put 55 on the clock. So this actually benefits center now, those extra 10 seconds, even though one was lost on that last play. And I believe, double checking with our producer, Will McCombs, that center should only have 1 timeout remaining. Is that correct? That is correct. So center's got 1 timeout left, so they can use 1 more if they need to. And with Anderson out of the game, you got to come in with somebody else as your quarterback for at least a play. Maybe just put Belair in a wildcat type formation, let him run with the ball, see how far you can get, and then call your last timeout and take a shot at the end zone. I think that's the only thing you can do here.
Yeah, definitely. Or bring in somebody that can throw the ball, but they don't quite know that, and let them run one play as you and me are both expecting a run play here, seeing as your quarterback's out on this play. It would be the smart thing to do is a run play.
Well, Chris Sutton has come into the game. He's going to line up at receiver as Devin Eldridge is going to move to quarterback. So that's a switch. Eldridge usually the receiver. Anderson will come in after this play. Belair is going to be in the backfield to Eldridge's left. Again, no one has thrown a pass this year other than Tyler Anderson. Or excuse me, Tyrell Anderson. Here is the snap. Eldridge with the ball. He's actually going to throw. He's throwing a deep ball. It's underthrown, and it is hauled in by somebody. Who's it? Oh, what a pick. Picked off by Jacob Hodges.
I don't agree with that play call. As you bring in a quarterback who has not thrown a pass the entire season and try to ask him to go score a touchdown on a win or go home game where it's absolutely needed.
And your quarterback can come in on the next play. I would have given it to Belair, let him get 10 yards, and then go for the end zone.
Right, use my timeout, hope for that first down, and hope that the chain gang can move it slow so you can get a little bit of time. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't have called that.
Well, and now Central Catholic can just put a knee on it, and that's what they're going to do. I mean, it would have been a tall order anyway from 36 yards out in 14 seconds to get a score if you're center. But it would have been nice if they'd maybe comboed that up a little bit differently than they did. But either way, on the first turnover of the game, Central Catholic takes a knee and takes the first half lead, 27-7. The Raiders lead it over the Center Cougars. You're following the action here on PlayOnSports.com and the CIF Sac-Joaquin Section Network. Folks, we're going to take a break. They've put up 20 minutes on the scoreboard for halftime. We will break away for about 10, come back with a short halftime show, get you ready for the second half of play. Again, your halftime score, Central Catholic 27, Center 7 in this Division IV semifinal game. Back with more in just a few moments. Back here on PlayOnSports.com, Jeff Kurtz rejoined by Jason Patterson as we get set for the second half of play and do a very abbreviated halftime show here in what's getting to be a colder top of the press box here at Central Catholic High School. Right now the Raiders comfortably in front 27-7 at the intermission. It's going to take a lot for center to get back in this football game. A lot of big plays are going to be required of the Cougars. Let's recap the scoring for you. It started in the first quarter as Ray Lomas scored from 15 yards out for Central Catholic to take a 7-0 lead. He added a 1-yard touchdown run in the second quarter, but the kick was blocked, and that made it 13-0 Central Catholic. A response by center, however, as Tyrell Anderson hit Tolentino for an 8-yard touchdown pass to make it a 13-7 game, but then Ray Vega scored from 11 yards out for Central Catholic, and Ray Lomas scored his third touchdown in the first half from 8 yards away towards the end of the first half, and that makes your score 27-7 at the intermission. 5 penalties for 30 yards in the first half for center and 1 turnover, that on an interception. 1 penalty for 10 yards, 2 fumbles, but both recovered by Central Catholic in the first half. What does center need to do, Jason, to get themselves back in this ballgame in the second half of play?
Defense, 100% defense. So far, Central Catholic has just been unstoppable on offense. Their tandem of the running backs, the Rays, as one of the coaches called them here, Ray Vega, and also Ray Lomas. And they are both just absolutely amazing so far in this game. If I'm Center High School, I need to find a way to stop this rushing game and force Central Catholic to pass, because as far as we know, that might be their only weakness at this point. But regardless, we don't know that because Center has not forced them to pass the ball. I think there's been a total of maybe 5 passes between both schools.
Yeah,
so
2 for Artis. He completed both, and then he dropped back to pass another time and was sacked.
Right.
But he's completed both passes that he's thrown.
Just flawless football so far, besides the 2 minor penalties one penalty, or was it 2 penalties?
One penalty for Central Catholic.
2 fumbles that they got, so that's what it was. The one penalty and 2 fumbles that they actually recovered. So besides those 3 little minor things there, they have played absolutely flawless football, and that has led to a 27-7 lead here at the end of the first half.
There is the word "we" on the jerseys of the Central Catholic Raiders. That old phrase, "there's no I in team." Well, this has been a collective effort with a lot of parts. Escobar made a nice catch. He's been clearing the way as well. Offensively for his 2 running backs. Munt has a catch in the football game. He's been playing very well defensively. The offensive line's getting a good push. Vega and Lomas have plenty of room to run. A little bit also from Matthew Ringer in that first half. So everything working right now pretty much for Central Catholic. You got to think that head coach Roger Canepa is pretty pleased with what he's seen so far from his Raiders ball club.
Yeah, I would definitely expect so, as they are putting the words "we" on their jerseys to effect here, as they are working as one well-oiled machine here against the Center Cougars. Unfortunately for the Center Cougars, this is their first time here this far in the playoffs, and it's almost looking to be too much. They look a little frantic. Early in the game, Anderson had a couple wide receivers open, just wasn't able to put the ball on the numbers. He did end up getting a nice play that led to their only touchdown. The one before that, was the long bomb that he found. He found one of his receivers,
But then he completed it to Tolentino for the actual touchdown pass. So
right.
Belair will probably see a little bit more of. I got to think they got to give him the ball more frequently in the second half.
I would give him the ball as much as possible at this point, as he seems to be their only light, as he's got that one long, huge gain. I think it was 40 yards. So just keep working on that. Give him the ball. Try to give him any kind of hole you can. Besides that, I don't know what to say. You got to stop that defense. You have to. That offense of the Central Catholic Raiders. You can't win a game if you can't stop them. They have not been stopped yet. They've scored every time they've touched the ball, and that's not the way you win games if you're Center Cougars.
The only time they didn't score was when they got the ball at the very end on that interception,
right.
And then took a knee at their
right.
5-yard line. DeGaulle Jabali said to us before the game, the head coach for the Center Cougars said to us before the game, what we need to do is we need to match physically with Central Catholic. And they seem to do that on the offensive end with their ability to move the football. But on the defensive end, that offensive line is really proving to be very formidable.
Yeah, that's This is one heck of a team over here for the Central Catholic Raiders. They are a well-oiled machine. They work fairly well together. The coach was saying there's only 350 kids in the entire school, and they've got about 60 of them out here in uniform right now, as they have a pretty solid roster.
Matt Cooper is going to be kicking off for center, going left to right. In the white jerseys again is center on the road with the light blue lettering, light blue helmets, the blue socks to go along with the white pants. Meanwhile, Central Catholic going right to left. They're in the Notre Dame navy blue and gold. Notre Dame's been number 1 this year. Central Catholic, not number 1 seed in this particular Division IV section playoffs, but they are looking like a number 1 seed and certainly like they could be the number 1 team in Division IV in the Sac-Joaquin section when all is said and done. But we still have 24 minutes of football to be played, and we are underway in the second half. This is Vega on a bounce from his 21-yard line, far sideline. Picks his way through traffic, cuts up field, and is going to take it out near the 40-yard line before he is brought down. And that is where Central Catholic will take over, first down and 10 after a return of 19 yards by Ray Vega. And once again, the quarterback, Garrett Artis, out on the football field. Does not have to throw the ball too often, and why not? He's got 2 really good running backs and also not a bad one in Rager either, who he can hand the ball off to all game long. Escobar at fullback, Vega the tailback. Vega the carry on first down, follows his big fullback up the middle, keeps those feet moving, and is finally going to be pushed backwards after he gets to the 45-yard line for a pickup of 5. And we will remind you that is about 9.5 yards below his normal average of 14.8.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was talking to one of the parents over here, Garrett Ardis's dad, and Artis, sorry. And he was very pleased to know that his son only had to throw 2 passes, completed them both. He was telling me that tandem in the backfield of the Rays, Loma and Vega, they are both just absolutely amazing, and it makes his son's job a whole lot easier.
Split backfield behind Artis. Here is a handoff. Second man through is Vega, and he is met right at the line. A gain of 1 and a penalty marker on the play at the line of scrimmage. And our official's going to say a block below the knees against the defense. So going a little too low is center, and unfortunate because that was on a great stop defensively that would have made it a 3rd down and maybe 4 situation. Instead, the penalty marker is going to go against center, and that should be enough for a first down for Central Catholic. So someone went low on the offensive line, on one of the offensive linemen for the center Cougars, and that's their 6th penalty of the football game.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the Cougars as they finally make a good defensive play, bring down the ball carrier for a minimal gain, was possibly going to bring up a 3rd and short, and they give up a penalty that gives
15 yards.
Yeah, personal foul penalty. Man, giving that up, that's one thing that we were stressing a whole lot during halftime is they had to play good defense. They finally play good defense, and it gets taken away by a penalty.
The ball at the 39-yard line of center, first down and 10. Artis goes offset eye left with Vega dotting the I. Munt lines up to the right at tight end. 2 receivers near side. Play action. Artis is going to throw. He's got a man open. The pass is complete at the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 9. Or excuse me, gain of, yeah, it should be a gain of 9. There we go, yep. Our chain gang was only going 4 yards. I'm like, I hesitated a minute to recount that one, but that is a gain of 9 yards. 2nd down and 1. And Artis is now 3 for 3 on passing.
That's 1,000% right there. You don't get any better than that.
Lean to the far side. He's closest to the sideline. Loya in the slot. Strong side left this time on the I formation. Artis on a delay. This is Vega. Vega finds a little bit of room. Vega is going to take it down to the 20-yard line. A gain of 10 and a first down for Central Catholic. What a host of weapons that Roger Canepa has at his disposal offensively for this Central Catholic squad. I got to think that Matthew Ringer, who's the 3rd string running back, would be the 1st string on a lot of teams, but he's running behind 2 pretty good ones in Vega and Lomas. Offset eye right, strong side right for Artis this time. And he gets someone jumping into the neutral zone. He's been doing that all day. That's the 3rd neutral zone infraction against center in this football game.
Yeah, that is definitely something that Central Catholic looks like they practice during the week, is trying to get that hard count. They look like they practice it both on offense and on defense. So I bet you it's a drill that they do during practice to try to make sure that nobody jumps until that ball is moved. And they have looked pretty solid when it comes to that stat.
And Artis has done a good job controlling this offense. First down and now 5 at the 15-yard line. In the red zone is Central Catholic. The handoff, Vega running right, finds a seam, bounces to the outside, inside the 10, down around the 5-yard line before he's brought down. Should be enough for another Central Catholic first down. And I again point out that those 10 yards are now below his yards per carry average of 14.5.
Yeah, that penalty is definitely starting to come back and bite the Cougars here early in the second half, as it was going to bring up a 3rd and short, possibly even getting them off the field and bringing back the offense out and getting their first stop against the Central Catholic Raiders. But unfortunately, they do a penalty, a personal foul penalty, and here we are, 1st and 5, or 1st and goal for the Raiders.
Offset eye right. Artis the snap. The handoff Vega. Vega's going to shake a tackle in the backfield and then get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on first down. 2nd down and goal coming up. We are early in the 3rd quarter of play. 9:05 remaining 3rd quarter. And here comes the play call in from the sideline. Bringing it in this time is Terrell Elder. So Elder comes in. He's going to replace Lean. Elder's pretty big himself. We might be going a jumbo package to the right-hand side. We got double tight ends here as Elder's going to line up to the right, Munt to the left, one receiver near side, and we got a whistle. And a timeout called by Central Catholic, as it looked like the play clock was winding down on the Raiders, and they'll take a quick timeout. We'll take a quick timeout as well here on PlayOnSports.com. 27-7 Central Catholic leading with 8:37 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the Raiders once again knocking on the door.
Play On Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play On Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Well, Jason, center's got to dig deep defensively right here. They got a 2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line. They need to stop Central Catholic on at least 2 downs, and I'm thinking if Central Catholic is anywhere near the goal line on 4th down, they're going to go for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that, as they haven't been stopped yet here. So 2 big plays here back-to-back for this center defense. They do not want to let the Raiders go up 34-7 here. Well, 33 pending an extra point if they do get the touchdown. But nonetheless, you do not want to give this team that much more room here and the momentum to start the second half.
Vega in the football game. Also out there, Reggie Bland, if that last name sounds familiar to you Sac-Joaquin section fans. His older brother, Louis Bland. Louis Bland played for this Central Catholic squad. The whole family, very good wrestlers. And now Bland in the game to block at fullback. Man in motion, left to right is Escobar. The handoff, Vega running behind Bland, and Escobar is going to be stopped short of the end zone. Maybe a yard. 3rd down and goal. They're going to give him 2 to the 3-yard line. So all that muscle in there, but center up to the task. And now a 3rd and goal from the 3.
Yeah, this is
Vega's going to come out. And let's see if Lomas is in.
Yeah, I did see Lomas walk out there.
Elder's going to come out of the ball game. Lomas in. Bland stays in to block at fullback. Escobar is going to line up at tight end left, Munt right. One receiver near side is Lean. Offset eye left. Here's a toss sweep. Lomas doesn't get to the football. Center's going to pick it up, and they're off to the races. Here we go. Big turnover. Center to midfield. To the 40, to the 30. Munt giving chase. 20, 10. The Cougars have a touchdown.
That could not have went any better for the center Cougars right there. They were looking for a stop on defense. They ended up getting a turnover that led to a touchdown. Defensive points is exactly what the Cougars needed to get them right back into this game.
Devin Eldridge picks up the loose ball around the 10-yard line and takes it 90 yards for the return. Wow. Actually, they're going to say, is that Gervais? Gervais, excuse me, takes it all the way. He's number 1, Eldridge number 11. He was going so fast it looked like there were two number 1s on the back of the jersey, not just one. Is Cooper on for the extra point try? It's a high snap, rolling right. This is Anderson throwing for 2. It's going to be picked off by Central Catholic. The conversion fails, but it is a 2-possession game. 27-13 is our score on the big turnover. Gervais takes it all the way. Well, Central Catholic had not been stopped except by the clock at the end of the first half. And right there on a turnover, Jason, huge play, center within 2 scores.
Yeah, that was a huge play for the center Cougars. It's, like I said, exactly what they wanted to happen. It could not have gone any better for the Cougars on that play. Looking, like I said, for that defensive stop, ended up getting a turnover that led all the way to points. That has brought a little bit of life. As you see, there's a little bit more pep in the step of the Cougars as they run out here to get this kickoff. That was exactly what they needed. They needed the momentum. They needed the points. They needed everything that happened on that play.
They needed a big play, and they got one. From the 3-yard line, 3rd and goal, toss sweep left side, and the toss was a little high. Lomas couldn't come up with it. The ball bounced around, and Gervais picked it up and took it 90 yards for a touchdown. And now Cooper set to kick off, and the defense for center, can they step up again? 7:36 remaining 3rd quarter, and what looked to be slowly a coronation for Central Catholic, at least going to the title game. Now a little bit more doubt in the equation.
Yeah, as center has finally got their defensive stop in a huge way. They got that stop. Only down 14 points here. That made this a very interesting game.
Here's the kickoff. Cooper. Cooper puts the ball in the air, short, returnable from the 20-yard line. Heading near side, Vega cuts up the middle, big hole. Only Cooper can stop him. Vega's going to run by Cooper to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Raiders!
Very nice play by Vega. That's the way you answer back to a defensive touchdown, is you take the kickoff all the way for a touchdown. Man, what a play by Vega. He's got some serious speed on him.
An 80-yard touchdown return on the kick by Ray Vega.
Yeah, you don't get any better than that on a kickoff return after a defensive touchdown. That's the way you just stole the momentum right back. Right as you thought center could possibly be building a little bit of momentum, Ray Vega takes it 80 yards and gets that momentum right back on the side of the Raiders sideline.
34-13. Momentum so fickle on the football field, Jason. It was on center sideline a moment ago, and then 80 yards later, it's right back on the Central Catholic side.
Yeah, that was a quick Mr. Moe. He only spent so much time over there on the center sideline. Just as he was getting all the way across there, Central Catholic Raiders decided to call him on back. I don't even know if he made it all the way to that sideline, as momentum is now sitting over here on the Raiders side yet again.
That took all of 12 seconds for Central Catholic to get back in this thing, and 34-13 is the score. Mid-3rd quarter. Meanwhile, in the 4th quarter, the Los Banos Escalon game, Los Banos leading it 21-14 in the 4th. Well, we got a lot of fireworks going on here. Well, now center's got to respond again, but they can't keep trading scores. But they have to get a score here to keep it as a 2-possession game. There's still a ton of time left in this game, and as we've seen in the last maybe 20 to 30 seconds, 2 scores in that time period.
Yeah, those are 2 quick scores by both schools. Unfortunately, that's not what center wants to happen. They don't need Central Catholic to score any more points, as they finally found a way to get some more points on this board, and Central Catholic answers right back.
Smart set to kick off. Going right to left. Well, don't go anywhere, folks. There's certainly going to be a lot of high-paced action here as we wind this game down. Ball is going to be grabbed at the 2-yard line. Here comes center. Stutter step move. Ball fumbled. Who's got it? Central Catholic says they do, but they're not wholeheartedly saying that they do. No signal yet. Looks like center still got the football. A sigh of relief breathed by the center fans on the far side. And the Cougars will take over at the 15-yard line. Let's see where they're going to spot it. The 14, it looks to be.
This is a big drive for the Cougars here, Jeff. They need to get down there and get some more points on this board, try to get a little bit momentum back on their side, as this Central Catholic Raider team is just keeping a stronghold on the momentum so far.
Yeah, but if they can score and match what the equalizer, or at least the differentiator, was that fumble return for a touchdown. Now you're within 2 scores. Central Catholic scores, you match that, you're still within 2 scores. Pistol formation for Anderson. Strong side left on first down. Here's a handoff, Belair. Belair up the middle. He's going to get a yard to the 15-yard line, 2nd down and 9. Nice job stacking it up there. That was big number 75, Spencer Stark, the junior, with the tackle. That was just one-on-one. And Stark put Belair in a bear hug and wrapped him up for a 1-yard gain.
That's definitely saying something with the speed of Belair. He's one quick man in the backfield there. And for a defensive lineman to be able to track him down and take him down, that was a good play.
3 receivers for center, split backfield for Anderson. The snap. Anderson going to play action to Belair and then run it himself to the left. He's going to take a hit and break the tackle initially. Then he'll be wrestled out of bounds. Good to see, though, Anderson, who looked like he was holding his left hamstring with an injury in the second quarter. He seems to be moving fine. If he's bothered at all by that leg, it's hard to tell from up here.
Yeah, he looked just as lightning fast as he did in the first quarter there on that play. So it's definitely good to see that hammy is not acting up too much. It probably just was a little bit of a stinger there when he did get injured. Definitely good to see him able to make those lightning fast cuts that we've been able to see throughout this game.
He picked up 2. Big 3rd down coming up here for center. 3rd and 7. Pistol strong side right this time. Anderson the snap. He's going to drop back. He's got some time. He's throwing deep. He's got a man open. The pass is broken up. Great defensive play. Once again, that was Abate getting in there, sticking a hand in there and breaking that pass up. 4th down, and I think center's got to go for it here. They're probably going to bring on the punting unit instead. Yep. Too deep in their end.
What a wonderful defensive play by Abate on that play. Oh, man.
He was giving up a step.
Yeah, these defensive backs, they don't give up on any play. As I've seen them get burned a couple times down the field, and they just stick right in there and get their hands in there and just make sure they get a hand on a ball and don't let the receivers get 2 hands on it. Just great play by these defensive backs so far by the Raiders.
Cooper on to punt. He's standing at his 5-yard line. Loya awaits at midfield. This punt almost blocked. High kick. Loya's going to let it go. It's going to take a center bounce into Central Catholic territory and will roll dead at the 46-yard line. That was very close. That was almost close to a block. It was almost close to running into the kicker.
Yeah, that was Munt who got in the backfield there. He is such a big boy at 6'5" with a wingspan. He doesn't even really need to jump coming in there to try to block those kick. He just puts one of those long arms up in the air, and I bet he can reach up to about, around 7, 8, 9 feet in the air. So that's one heck of a punt to get that off. That's why it went so high. He had to kick it so high to get it over Munt.
37 yards on the punt. And Central Catholic takes over at their own 46-yard line with 5:37 to play in the 3rd quarter. I formation behind Artis, strong side left. Handoff up the middle, Vega. Vega's going to get a couple yards, maybe 3. See where they're going to spot him. Looks to be around the 49-yard line. Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. Well, center's doing a good job limiting Vega to below his yards per carry average right now.
Right. Unfortunately for them, that average is about 14.5 yards.
Yeah.
So even when you hold him to under that, he's still getting a lot of yards every time he touches the ball.
Vega's going to come out for a play. Strong side right this time. Offset eye left. Handoff Lomas up the middle. Lomas is going to get into center territory and will be stopped at the Cougars' 48-yard line. A gain of 3 more.
Yeah, getting back to Vega, if you guys at home do follow football, a pretty solid rushing average for a rusher normally would be about 7 yards, 6 to 7 yards a carry.
At the high school level.
At the high school level, yeah, is what you want, is what you're expecting. And for him to double that is just absolutely ridiculous.
In just 6 games. 3rd down and 4. Lomas is going to come out of the game. Now Vega in as Coach Canepa rotating his running back. Strong side right, offset eye right. Handoff. Vega taking his time, bounces to the outside. He's got the 1st down, and Gervais is going to track him down with a host of teammates around the 41-yard line of center. But that is enough for a 1st down. And Vega showing nice patience there. There wasn't a whole lot at the beginning of the play, but followed his blockers, bounced to the outside, and gets the 1st down.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want from a young running back is that ball carrier vision and the patience to wait for your blockers and let the play develop and find those holes as your blockers make them for you. Just great play so far by all these running backs. I haven't really seen a single player that hasn't been playing to top-notch abilities from the Central Catholic team.
Gain of 7 on that last one. Vega handoff up the middle. Line of scrimmage is the 41 here. He's going to take it down to the 36-yard line on a 1st down carry. They're going to give him, let's see if they're going to put the knee down at the 37. Nope, they're going to put it down at the 36, a gain of 5. 2nd down and 5 coming up.
Yeah, this Central Catholic offense is almost methodical. They just keep moving down the field, keep those chains moving, just constantly wearing on that defense. It's starting to show as the later of this game goes on.
Well, ball exchange is the critical part for Garrett Artis, the quarterback, as he's got Lomas in the backfield now. And he's going to play action and throw and hit his fullback Escobar. And Escobar is going to get upended inside the 30. That'll be enough for another 1st down for Central Catholic.
Yeah, that's not the first time we've seen that play, as Artis has completed his 4th pass and only attempted 4 passes now in this game. So he's still 100% for the game. And, again, another nice pass to the fullback. I believe the fullback has caught 2 or 3 of the 4 passes. So at least
Escobar's grabbed 2 of them.
Yeah, so he's the favorite target for his quarterback, at least in this game.
Well, it's a high percentage play.
It's
certainly
very solid. Yeah, the play action, catching your fullback on the flats is working great when you only throw the ball 4 times in a game.
Offset eye left, tight end right. Here's a handoff. Lomas almost stripped of the football, but hangs onto it, and then center stacks him up at the 26-yard line for a gain of 3.
One thing I can say about the center defense here is starting the 2nd half, they have been able to contain the running game so far. They are giving up 1st downs, but they aren't giving up as much rushing yards. So it's a move in the right direction. Unfortunately for center, it might take too long for them to finally figure out how to completely stop this rushing game.
Anthony Hall has to come out of the game again for center. He lost his helmet. Again, that mandatory 1 play off, and he was a little frustrated coming out the 2nd time it's happened to him in the game. Offset eye right, tight end right. 1 receiver to either side for Artis on 2nd down and 7. And once again, he gets somebody to jump. That is 4. I'll tell you, we should give Artis 4 carries for 20 yards because he's forced 4 penalties for 20 yards, all on those jumping into the neutral zone.
Yeah, he's definitely good at that hard count, and he's working that line very nicely. Looking like a field general out there is Artis.
That is the 8th penalty of the game against center. For 55 yards. Only 1 penalty against Central Catholic. Excuse me, make that 2. They had that 15-yard face mask penalty at the end of the 1st half. 2 penalties for 25 yards for the Raiders. Strong side right, out of the I formation. Handoff Vega, and he stopped right away. Nice ankle tackle on the play. That was Jason Perry who made the stop.
Yeah, that was a very nice play for the defense for the Cougars there. That was probably the shortest run from any running back in a Central Catholic jersey tonight.
That was a yard.
Right, and that was the shortest run so far. So still getting yards, and yet.
That might be the shortest run of Ray Vega's Central Catholic career.
Right.
All of 6.5 games so far. 1:15 to play in the 3rd. 3rd down and 2. Artis is going to hand off. Lomas is going to get the 1st down and more. He's going to take it down around the 11-yard line. A gain of 11, and it is 1st and 10 Central Catholic, and once again they move the chains.
Well, despite those 2 quick touchdowns from either school here, this has been a pretty quiet 3rd quarter as we're getting down to about a minute left here in the 3rd quarter. But, man, still just dominant football by the Raiders.
Well, Central Catholic is certainly making a case here for me today, at least, as they look like they might be heading to a section championship game again if they're able to win next week. A regional playoff game for a bowl championship at the state level. Certainly not out of the realm of possibility for the Raiders. Offset eye to the left, handoff. Vega, he's going to be hit at the 10-yard line and stopped right there. He came out of the pile after the play was over, but I think he'd already been whistled dead. Suddenly, there was David Tolentino going, hey, how'd you get here? He was wrapped up at the 10-yard line, and I think the officials blew the whistle. Center defenders let go, and next thing you know, Tolentino was 8 yards down the field trying to tackle Vega again. A gain of 2 is that last carry by Lomas took him to the 12-yard line.
Yeah, let's see
now
if
the
they
ball
run
at the
a play
10-yard
here under 10 seconds.
5 seconds left in the quarter. Artis, let's see if he gets it off. He does. It's going to be play action. He's going to pass, and it's juggled and intercepted by center. Here we go again, and then taking it out to the 34-yard line go the Cougars. Huge play for center. They force another turnover, the second of the game by Central Catholic, and now the Cougars will take over to begin the fourth quarter with the ball at the 34-yard line. Central Catholic had a chance to ice the game right there with another score while they had possession, and now a little bit of life left for the Cougars as we turn our attention to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was, again, it's 2 big turnovers that center has been able to cause here in the second half, and it has definitely kept them alive in this game. Let's see if they can't turn this one into points as they did in the first turnover that they got. If they could go down and get a score, that'll put them back in this game, only down 2 scores with a whole fourth quarter to play. So plenty of football left, not all the way out of it. If the center can get a quick score here, it'll definitely get a little bit more interesting here for this fourth quarter.
Well, Central Catholic, who played a pretty flawless first half of football, Jason, a few more mistakes here in the fourth has at least given center some hope. It's going to be a big task for the Cougars to come back, but not out of the realm of possibility. We've seen it in these playoffs before. In fact, last week, Vista Del Lago was trailing against El Camino by 21 going into the fourth quarter and came back and won by 4. Now, Vista Del Lago, the favorite, and playing at home in that game. This would be an epic comeback on the part of the Cougars, but one score at a time, and they start out with the football at their own 34-yard line going right to left. Anderson was missing a receiver. That was the play call coming in late. Anderson's got 2 backs in the backfield with him. Belair to his left. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. On first down and 10, first play of the fourth quarter. Anderson the snap. He's going to keep it himself. He's going to get to the 40. He's going to split a couple defenders and take it into Central Catholic territory at the 48-yard line, a first down.
That was a good run there by Anderson. These have been pretty much designed keepers. As they do a little fake to Belair, and he just takes off with it. He was able to follow his blockers nice, made a nice cut through a hole, and picked up a good yardage there. That's exactly what they want to do. The only bad thing about that play is it keeps the clock moving.
Yep, and they're going to have to hustle these plays in and out because will they get 3 possessions in the fourth quarter is the question. And you've got to stop Central Catholic every time they touch the football. Pistol formation to the right-hand side. 2 receivers to that side, 1 to the near side. Handoff Belair. Belair trying to get through the hole, and he breaks 1 tackle, gets hit, bounces back, and then is finally stopped by what it seems to be the entire Central Catholic defense. Back at the 45-yard line is where the tackle ends up being, but he's going to lose yardage. They're going to say forward momentum to the 49. Boy, he broke the tackle of Stark, who had him by a shoestring, and then when he came off of that, got hit, bounced back, and then was swarmed for a 3-yard loss. Second down and 13.
Yeah, you break 1 tackle, break another tackle, and next thing you know, you're met with the rest of the defense. That makes it a little bit difficult.
Nice pursuit to the ball by the Raiders. 10:50 remaining in the game. 34-13 center, trailing by 21. But with the football. Belair is going to keep it himself, and he's going to be ankle tackled again.
That was good defense by the Raiders. They were able to swarm to the ball, met the ball carrier in the backfield, took him down for it looked like a loss. So
that was Reggie Bland making the hit. A loss of 1 more, 3rd and 14. Got to be 2 down territory if you're center. No need to punt here near midfield. So you don't have to make up all 14 yards in 1 play, Jason.
Yeah, not only that, being down so much, fourth quarter, win or go home. At this point, it's all out on the line.
Receiver to the near side, make that 2. double tight end set this time. Anderson puts Belair to his left. Anderson the snap, high snap, juggles it, comes down with it. Now he's looking at a defender. He's going to run. He's going to roll away, and he's going to head upfield, break a tackle, get the first down. What a play. Anderson breaks the tackle of Munt along the sideline and gets the first down on a 3rd and 14.
Yeah, that was an amazing play by Anderson, as he had the design play was a wide receiver bubble screen, and he had good vision, was able to see that the defense had that planned out perfectly, tried to find a couple of his check downs, all were covered. Then he decides to pull the Michael Vick out, and he drove down the field nicely, made nice moves on the outside, and picked up the first down. That was all Anderson on that play.
That was Atlanta Falcons' Michael Vick version right there. 9:35 to go in the game. A gain of 16. First down for center. The snap. Anderson back to pass. Sets up, throwing towards the sideline. Gervais hauls it in. Oh, nice catch. Hit and ends up in the field goal kick net for the Central Catholic sideline.
That was a beautiful catch. He was able to, not only the beautiful catch, but a beautiful throw, too. He led his receiver nicely to the outside to where only the wide receiver could catch it. Gervais made a nice catch, was able to get a foot in. A beautiful play right there on that one. And it also it picks up another first down. So center looking good here on this drive.
Gain of 12 yards, and they're keeping 2 tight ends now to help with the blocking. Not a bad idea from the 24-yard line. Here's Belair. Belair is stripped of the football, and it is recovered by Central Catholic. And that was Munt who gets the strip and the ball.
That was huge play for the Raiders right there. As center was looking to try to get back into this game, they were driving, they were looking good. And it
was Munt.
Yeah, it was Munt. So Munt did get in the backfield there and stripped the ball nicely and even had the awareness to fall on it, as it looked like possibly Anderson was going to be able to maybe run and fall back on it for center. And Munt does it all by himself. He strips, gets the ball, and he's pumped as he's trying to motion to the crowd to get a little bit excited over here.
9:19 to play. Second turnover of the game. Here's a handoff. Right side is Vega, and he's going to be stopped at the 30-yard line. Munt is really fired up. He took a guy 7 yards down the field on a block on that last play.
It's pretty easy to do that when you're running with a full head of steam, and you got a guy just trying to hold on to your shoulder pads, as he was pretty much dragging him down the field. That was solid blocking by Munt.
Gain of 3, second down and 7. So 2 turnovers in the game for each team, both coming at critical times, but even worse for center, who looked to be driving for a score that would make it a 2-possession game. Instead, I formation, strong side right. Here's the handoff. Escobar up the middle is going to disappear into the defensive line at the 32-yard line. And this will bring up 3rd down and 5. The clock is the friend for Central Catholic right now, and you got to bet that Garrett Artis, the quarterback, is going to let as much time run off the clock as possible. Still a lot of time left in this one, 8:20 now remaining.
Yeah, they are taking as much time as possible, getting their plays in slowly. They are in no hurry here. They're taking as much time as possible. Definitely going to expect another run play right here.
Offset I left. Artis on the delay. Lomas is going to stretch for the first down marker. He's going to be short. The ball at the 36-yard line. He needs to get to the 37, maybe the 38.
We might actually see a punt unit here for Central Catholic.
We'll see. 4th down.
No, they're going to run a play as Artis is getting a play call.
Well, it's a bit of a gamble here. I mean, if you don't get it and you're 2 yards shy, actually at the 35-yard line, then center takes over with really good field position. Still, they have to get 3 scores in about 7 minutes. But
I agree with what you're saying here, but if you can get this first down, that will pretty much seal it, as they need 3 possessions to the center Cougars. If you can get the first down between those 4 downs that are left, you will waste enough time off the clock to guarantee they won't see 3 possessions.
Power formation, and now it is going to be a timeout that's going to be called by Central Catholic. That's their second of the half, as the play clock was winding down. Looked like the Raiders were going to go with a power formation set. And then the other thing to keep an eye on is, does Garrett Artis draw your defensive line off with another hard count? Well, folks, we'll take a quick break here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. 34-13, Central Catholic with a big lead and a big 4th down play coming up here in just a few moments.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups, like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP. Also, don't forget to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show, where we will select our play of the game as well as wrap up all the action from this ballgame. That's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Jeff Kurtz alongside Jason Patterson. Will McCombs is our producer. Second game in 3 days where I've subjected our cameraman Victor Adams to cold temperatures outside in a press box. We were up in Chester, California doing the Division IV Northern Section Championship game. 35 degrees in Chester on Wednesday. A little bit warmer here, but next time I take Victor to a game, I'm going to have to promise him a jacuzzi somewhere after this game is over so he can warm up again and thaw out.
I was going to say, let's not talk degrees as it's pretty cold up here tonight.
4th down and 2. Out of the timeout by Central Catholic. Escobar in motion from right to left, then back right, now back left again. Artis, the hard count at the line of scrimmage. Nobody's jumping, and still taking his time. Nice discipline by center. He's using the entire clock. I'm surprised there isn't a delay of game call yet. Center's like, hey, how many? There it is, finally. That took forever.
Yeah, Artis was going to expect him to take that, and he was waiting for it too. He didn't even know what was going on that one, as that took a
lot of time.
Yeah.
That was the longest 30 seconds I've ever seen.
Yeah, they ended up starting another play clock from the time that he got to the line and decided to call it after those 30 seconds were up.
7:18. Well, the clock didn't run down because there was a timeout. Punting unit on for the first time in the football game for Central Catholic. Their punter is Chris Lean. And Lean standing at his 15-yard line. Big return needed here for center. They're waiting the ball at the 35. High snap, but Lean grabs it. He gets the punt away. Ooh, that is a booming, spiraling kick. Backpedaling and grabbing at the 20-yard line is Gervais, and he's going to be brought down at the 19. What a kick by Lean.
Yeah, he's pumped up about that one.
Oh, he got all of that.
That was absolutely beautiful. I'm almost surprised that anybody on the Central Catholic team knows how to kick the ball, as we have not seen any kicking unit to start this game.
That was a 51-yard net punt.
Yeah, that's Andy Lee, Shane Leckler like right there. If you follow Bay Area sports, that was a serious high school punt. I mean, that was a serious punt for any level. That was beautiful. Spiraled and got up nice. That was good hang time. That's exactly what you want out of your punter.
Well, now center with 7:08 to play needs to get down the field from their own 19-yard line. They need 21 points in the next 7 minutes and 8 seconds just to tie the football game. Pistol formation left-hand side. Here's the handoff. Belair trying to get through a hole, finds one. Then he's going to get to the 25-yard line before he is stacked up.
I hope that kid finds the end zone so that way my words don't go unmarked.
Yeah. Center has scored twice, once offensively on a pass play, once on a fumble return for a score. That was a gain of 6 by Belair on first down. Boy, Anderson's going to have to hustle back and forth. That kid's covering a lot of miles here today, getting the play call from the sideline and bringing it in.
Yeah.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Pistol formation right. Now Gervais, who's going to go in motion now from left to right. That kid's got a dirty jersey. He's been playing hard. Now going to go back in motion to the near side. The snap. Anderson's going to throw. He rifles one out to the outside. That's going to be enough for a first down. Munt, nice pursuit. He came from his left linebacker spot and ran about 15 to 20 yards to end up making that tackle on the far sideline.
Yeah, he's as I was looking at him doing a little bit of research, it said that anything that I was really finding was more just tight end clips. But this kid is the real deal on that defensive line. He is just all over. Anytime there's a tackle being made, you're seeing 8-4 come out of the big rugby scrum.
That was enough for a first down. The ball out near the 38-yard line. Belair is going to run left. He's going to try to bounce to the outside. He's going to get another first down and end up in Central Catholic territory at the 49-yard line.
That was another good run there by center. Exactly what they want to do. I want to point out the tackle, though, by number 10, Tyler Johnson for Central Catholic, as he saved a touchdown there. I think if Belair gets past Johnson, he takes that all the way in for 6. So a good touchdown-saving tackle by Johnson for the Central Catholic Raiders.
6 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Center trying to drive down and score. They are in Central Catholic territory. Here's the handoff, Belair. He's going to run right. He's in the secondary. He's got a first down. He's going to cut back to the inside. He's to the 20. He breaks another tackle. He's to the 10. He's inside the 10. He's down around the 6-yard line. Their players are still pushing, and they finally blow it dead at the 6. A 43-yard gain for DeJuan Belair.
That was exactly what that kid is capable of right there. I was expecting to see a little bit more of that, but this Central Catholic defense has been holding him to pretty much not that at this point. But a good run by DeJuan Belair. He got there. I was trying to hopefully maybe see if he got the end zone on that 43-yard scamper, but still a good play. Unfortunately, the clock is still moving for the Cougars as we're getting down under 5.5 minutes to go in this game.
Double tight end set, 3 backs in the backfield. Now they're going to go 2 tight ends left-hand side. Here's the handoff. Belair's going to run left. He's high-stepping it. He's pushing. He's going to be stopped. Nice tackle by Joey Abate. Going to stop Belair at the 4-yard line. I thought he got a little bit further before he was pushed back, but they're going to only give him 2 yards on that play, and we tick down to the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Joey Abate's name is one you have heard throughout this game on defense. He's playing pretty solid on defense, and he's obviously a standpoint there for the Catholic Raiders.
Power formation again in the backfield. 4:45 to play. Belair is going to run to his right this time, and he's going to get down to the 2-yard line.
If you ask me which side do I run against with this Central Catholic defense, I say whatever side number 84 is not on, as that went right into Munt, and Munt took him down with ease there almost. That is such a big boy. He's taking down any of these kids with just lots of ease. He makes it look quite easy out there.
4:15 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Center's using a lot of time. They're at the 2-yard line. Same formation. Play action. The pass. Back corner. Incomplete.
Yeah,
and you got to go for it here if you're center.
That was solid defense again by Johnson. Johnson made it out there. And one thing I want to point out is Johnson made that tackle that saved the touchdown earlier on this drive, and he's been a little bit hobbly since then, and he was still able to run with that wide receiver there in the end zone and jump up and make a nice play on that ball. Yeah, that's a hats off there to Tyler Johnson for Central Catholic, staying in the game hurt and still able to make plays.
This is the ball game right here, folks. If center, they've already got a long road in front of them, but they need a touchdown on this play. On 4th down, go with Belair. Trying to bounce to the outside. He's not going to get there. He is knocked out of bounds. Abate again gets the corner and gets the play and knocks center out of bounds.
And the frustration is starting to mount as DeJuan Belair stays on the sideline. He's got his head down, slow to run off. Yeah, the frustration is starting to definitely mount for that kid, as he knows he is capable of so much coming into this game with so many yards on the ground and so many touchdowns. To be held to no touchdowns and a fairly little amount of rushing yards is just absolutely ridiculous, as he's coming in with over 2,000 rushing yards and 27 touchdowns, and he has not found the end zone today.
Here's a handoff. Escobar on 1st down. He's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and stopped at the 6-yard line. Los Banos and Escalon were tied at 21 with just under 4 minutes to play in their football game. We'll see if we can get a score update for you here shortly, as Central Catholic, with 3:40 to play, is going to move on to the Division IV championship game next week. We got a tie game at Los Banos and Escalon, 50 seconds to play. I invite you to jump over to that one. You can get both up on your screen at the same time, folks, and watch the end of this while you're catching the end of that.
Yeah, if you're definitely at home and you are a Central Catholic Raider fan, we definitely invite you to go on to PlayOnSports.com and check out that Los Banos game. And that way you can find out who your Raiders will be facing next week in the championships of this section, I believe.
Vega is going to be tackled at the 9-yard line after a gain of 3. We will have that game. That game will be played on Friday at 7 p.m. at Lincoln High School, Lincoln of Stockton. We will have that game for you live on PlayOnSports.com. All 4 of the section championship games next Friday and Saturday in the Sac-Joaquin section will be live, plus our 2 games tomorrow. Division 5 and 6. Division 6 first at 1 p.m., Division 5 at 6 p.m. Both of those games in Lodi at the Grape Bowl. Yes. Under 2:40 to play, and it is 3rd down and 7 Artis gets his team up to the line. Offset I formation to the right. Lomas back in the football game. Artis the snap. He's going to give it to Lomas on a delay. Lomas will be short of a first down at the 15-yard line, and likely Central Catholic will punt this one away again after letting the clock wind down to under 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, why not? The last punt worked so well for him. I definitely wouldn't mind sending him out there as much as he wants.
Central Catholic does have one timeout left, so I guess they don't have to absorb the delay. They can. Got to think that Coach Canepa will punt this football away, and he's just going to let the clock wind down and call a timeout when he needs to. Well, it has been a well-played football game by Central Catholic. They have a couple mistakes here in the second half as they will use their final timeout with 1:46 to go and get set for the punt team to come on. I'm thinking with 4th and 1 at your own 15-yard line. Why gamble? But they had a couple turnovers in the second half that made things more interesting, but that 80-yard touchdown return by Ray Vega certainly cemented this one for Central Catholic.
Yeah, most definitely. It looked like Center was possibly going to get right back in this with a fumble recovery all the way for a touchdown. And then little do we know, Ray Vega gets the ball on a kick return and proves that that's not going to happen here tonight. Ray Vega took it into his own hands, and he brought Mr. Momentum right back to his side of the field, and it's been there ever since.
Central Catholic has won 15 section titles in Division IV and in the small schools division. That is the most titles in football of any school in the section in history, and they're going to be playing for number 16 next Friday night.
And they only have 350 total students in their school.
Both boys and girls.
That is absolutely amazing. That means
like
there's a solid coaching core here at Central Catholic High School.
It has been a transition to Coach Canepa very well. And now we got a penalty marker. And we've got too many men on the field. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yep. And now comes the punting unit. Well, Lean boomed one 51 yards a minute ago. This time he'll be kicking out of his own end zone with 1:46 to go.
Yeah, it's almost funny. They like to sit out there and take a penalty before they bring out their punting unit to these Central Catholic Raiders.
Half the distance to the goal line will put them, well, it's only a 5-yard penalty. He'll put them at the 10-yard line. 3 penalties for 30 yards.
That's solid, flawless play by the Raiders.
Here's the kick. Lean, another high one, this time a little bit shorter, but it will then take a Central Catholic roll and be picked up at the 48-yard line, returned 4 yards to the 48-yard line of Central Catholic. That was the tackle by Timmy Gutierrez.
So this will be more than likely the last drive of this ball game as we are down
and the
to
year for Center.
Yeah, and the year. That's unfortunate for Center. I do want to give them a hats off, though. We do have a little bit of time for making it this far. In the last couple of years, they have just constantly kept moving in the playoffs. They get farther and farther every year. Hopefully next year they make it the whole way.
Credit to DeGaulle Jabali and his coaching staff for turning around this Center program. Here is a pass that is going to be grabbed at the 40-yard line for a gain of 8. They will finish the year 10-3, Will Center, an outstanding season and really quite a turnaround. You can't say enough. Coach Jabali came on in 2003. This is his alma mater. He went to school at Center. He's been teaching there since 1995. He had a little bit of a coaching controversy early in his tenure as the head coach, bounced back from it, has been building the program from 0-10 and 1-9 records to where they are now. This pass is going to be intercepted. Anderson's pass picked off, taken all the way down the field and driven out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 3rd turnover of the game by Center. 56 seconds to play. You just have to take a knee if you're Central Catholic.
That was Jacob Hodges on the interception there for the Central Catholic Raiders. He smelled the end zone. He wanted to take it all the way back. He's a senior, so he might not get too many more opportunities to take those pick sixes. So he definitely wanted to try to take that one all the way. He got it to about the 25-yard line, it looks like. And so a couple victory formations, and that's going to do it here.
Well, Central Catholic is going to be a tough opponent for whomever they get next week, either Escalon or Los Banos. And they're going into overtime in that other game, folks. So Los Banos and Escalon in OT.
That's a playoff game for you.
Looked like they were going to finish their game before we're going to finish our game, but the opposite is true. Central Catholic is going to win this one, 34-13. The clock winding down, 45 seconds remaining. Folks, stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show where we will name our player of the game and wrap up our coverage from this football game today. Normally we have a player of the game interview, but because we're on top of the press box, we don't want to make some poor kid climb a ladder to get to us. So we will just name our player of the game here today. Clock winding down. Artis will snap the football one more time and take a knee, and that will just about do it. 15 seconds remaining. It's all but official at this point, folks. Central Catholic is going back to the Division IV Section Championship game next week at Lincoln High School in Stockton. They are your winner, 34-13. It is now official and final. The Central Catholic Raiders beat the Center Cougars. We'll be back here on the PlayOnSports.com postgame show in just a few moments, folks. Please stay with us. Back here on PlayOnSports.com. It's the PlayOnSports.com post-game show. Central Catholic winning it over Center 34-13. Jeff Kurtz alongside Jason Patterson as we wrap up from Central Catholic High School. Jason, our player of the game, Ray Lomas, 3 touchdowns in the first half. But you mentioned it earlier on. It was really a we effort on the part of the Central Catholic Raiders, operating effectively in most phases of the game tonight. Certainly a few mistakes with a couple of those turnovers and such, a few penalties, but on the whole, a really good football game. This is going to be a strong Raiders team that's going to face the winner of Los Banos Escalon.
Yeah, definitely. When you go into a game and you only commit 3 penalties for a total of 30 yards, so that is just absolutely flawless play by the Raiders as they come in here and they get this win in front of this home crowd, a dominant win. They had not one point in this game where they not the enforcer of the game. Just solid play by the Raiders. That running back tandem of Loma and Vega is just absolutely outstanding.
You've got a few score updates for us as well from other games that are taking place around the section. Obviously, the Los Banos Escalon game still in overtime, folks, so I invite you to check that out as soon as we're done here. But we had other games we were covering as well, and you've got some updates on those, Jason.
Yeah, if you guys are listening to us in right now, I would really like to invite you to tune into the Del Oro-El Grove game, as Del Oro has just scored a touchdown and made it 32-35 late in the fourth quarter. So that game's interesting. We've got a couple more scores. American Canyon lost to Oakdale 42-19. Let's see.
Folsom.
Justin Siena beat Arcata 34-27. The Los Banos Escalon game is in overtime, tied at 21 at the moment. Folsom was victorious over Buhack Colony 49-22. So that Folsom offense still just being absolutely outstanding. And, yeah, the only other game going in the area that I have here is the Del Oro-El Grove game, and that's 35-32, El Grove leading late in the fourth quarter. So
we were also covering Los Banos Escalon. We've got that game still going on as well. And check out Granite Bay Franklin. And we haven't gotten an update on that, but we were covering that game tonight on PlayOnSports.com as well. Well, folks, that's going to do it for us here. But it's not going to do it for us for this Thanksgiving weekend. And hope you're having a great Thanksgiving weekend wherever you are around the country or around the world, following the action on PlayOnSports.com. More football coming your way tomorrow from the North Coast, the Central Coast, and the Northern section. 2 football finals up there. Jason and I will be up in Sutter, California for the Division II championship between West Valley and Sutter. And then, of course, all the championships in the Sac-Joaquin section, 2 of them tomorrow, Division 5 and 6. Then Divisions 1 through 4 next Friday and Saturday. Check back on our broadcast schedule page for the teams, the matchups, and the game times. I'd like to thank everyone here on our crew today on PlayOnSports.com who made today's broadcast possible. Our cameraman was Victor Adams, producer William McCombs. For my broadcast partner Jason Patterson, I am Jeff Kurtz saying so long from Central Catholic High School. The Raiders advance with a 34-13 win over the Center Cougars. You've been following the action on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here. Good night, everybody.